everyone, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. It's another Monday, which means we are here in the Crownlands for our Game of Thrones RPG campaign, Season 2. I have no idea how we got here, but I love Game of Thrones, and I'm very happy to be here. Let's go around and say hello to everyone, because, hey, it's my favorite Monday, people. And let's begin with wonderful Shauna, over to my side. Hi, Shauna. I love your necklace. Sorry, minor distraction.
I got this strictly for the campaign. It is a little scythe, so it's a little bit of Tremaine stuff on there.
That's super cool. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm happy to be playing Adeline again. I really enjoyed that last session, and my thing of murder actually helped the house rather than hindered it last time. So hey, we'll see. I don't know. Happy birthday, Astor. I don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah, last session we played some Terra RPG while we engaged in the burning of Tyrosh, as it became known. But we are back to Sifra, Song of Ice and Fire RP rules from Green Ronin, and we're going to begin including their new Sword Chronicle rules as we progress through, because we're really excited about some of those updates. But let's drop it down and get an update from the wonderful, the one and only, Nuno. How are you doing, friend?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. I'm really excited to be back playing Astor after these 2 weeks of exciting little one-offs to the side of the main story. Finally, Shauna's decisions benefited the family. It was this one-off character, but hey, good.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see how that pans out to the main story, and whatever happened in the other two also bleed into what we're going to do today. So excited to see how that goes.
I mean, tell us what you really think, Nuno.
I think this is going to be a disaster, Charlie. We're doomed. Everyone's going to die.
Could be true. You win or you die. Those are your two options. Sam, what are you going to do?
Cake.
If
the options are cake or death, then it's cake for me, please. Oh, we'll have cake. Yeah, I'm good. I plan to kill cultists and find Tarla. And I would like to do that. As discussed in the green room, I would like to do that, please. That's all I would like to explore. Thank you. Yes, winning, please.
Yes, winning, please. We unfortunately do not have a Susie today, as she is traveling across Canada, but she will be back next week with the wonderful Allegra Dorsey. And I wanted to shout out to Amelia Tyler, who is part of this cast, but unfortunately has other commitments. But I have booked her for the penultimate and the finale. She will be here, she will be ours, and we'll never let her go again. Okay, everyone? Agreed? Yeah. But Amelia had fantastic news with the announcement that she is the narrator for Baldur's Gate 3, and she is a very busy lady working on all of those voiceovers for games, so please go and check out her work. We love her very much. People we love very much also include Dark Matter, which is released by Mage Hand Press. They just topped over $180,000 on their Kickstarter. They're running towards their $200,000 goal. We are so ready for more space. We are so ready for more mech. We are so ready for more amoeboids. Specifically, underline more amoeboids. Thank you. My one request. We also love Helmgast, who bring us Cult Divinity Lost, which gives us minor trauma every week on a Wednesday evening as we deep dive into the horrors of what lies between worlds and in the recesses of Mitch's dark but beautiful brain. If you do like some dark and adult horror, please do come check that out on a Wednesday. It's a lot of fun. We do all the body gore, all the stuff. It's fun. Love it very much. And it's also one of the most beautiful books I've ever had in terms of TTRPG. If you like dark horror beauty stuff, check it out. Very pretty. And finally, let me shout out Modiphius, who bring us Star Trek Adventures, Tales from the Loop, Acton Cthulhu. So many games, just all the time, and recently Dishonored as well, which we got to do a lovely two-shot of. Sam, can you sneak us any details of anything new? Haha.
I mean, it's already been announced, so I could talk about it. But I've been working on the Fallout 2D20 RPG recently, so that's fun. That's coming up. We should have some more stuff coming out for the Klingon kind of core book as well, so some accessories, some dice and stuff.
So in answer
Sweet.
to that person who long ago messaged on YouTube saying, "Can you play a Fallout game RPG, please?" And I said, maybe when there's one released, we're going to do it at some point. I promise. There's now one coming. And I knew it was coming when that comment came through, but I couldn't say anything. So now you know. Let's go.
Welcome to my life.
Fallout times. It is that NDA life. We love us a good friend DA as well. But let's unlock some friend DAs. And Astor, you hold in your hand a letter from your dear sister, your elder sister, Allegra. I think if you'll agree, Nina, this is probably the second or third time reading this letter since it's arrived. You've had quite a day, and processing is a lot, but you have this letter, and I'd like you to read for me, if you will, the letter that you have.
Absolutely, yeah. So I imagine this is after the end of a very long day, and he's just sitting in his bed, picks up the letter for one last time before he goes and drifts off to sleep. And it reads the following. Lord Tremaine, I am pleased to inform you that I have left the capital and will no longer prove to be a nuisance to House Tremaine. As has been stressed to me many times, I can no longer count myself amongst members of that house, and so shall not be acting on its behalf any further. Regrettably, then, you must find yourself a wife, as any selected by myself would surely prove to be insufficient. I'm sure you're more than capable of doing so, and I await notice of your betrothal with bated breath. Additionally so, I trust that you will find and deliver into justice the perpetrator of the poisoning. I will leave the responsibility of informing our aunt and remaining uncle of House Bywater to you. You are head of the house, after all. I also trust that you have devoted men to finding our sister and bringing her home. I eagerly await news of her safe return. My husband and I are bound for Storm's End to join the fleet that is soon to be sieging Tyrosh. You will no doubt hear of our victory soon. A shame that you cannot join us. After which we shall return to Tide's Door and our beloved children, and I do not expect that we shall be leaving again anytime soon. Until next we meet, Lady Allegra Dorsey.
So there we have it.
And as he finishes reading it one last time, he grips it with unnecessary strength, not crumbling it, but just slamming it firmly on the table, and attempts to drift to sleep.
And as you do so, you hear the familiar sound of wind passing through stone, and your mind begins to wander to those secret passages all around this castle, that cold, wet labyrinth. And you're not sure when you fall asleep, but you find yourself walking through those halls, damp, moldy smelling. You see your reflection in the deep puddle, the hole in which Adeline has surfaced, somehow connected to the well. And you walk around that well and look up to the stars. And out in the distance, you hear the whinny of your horse in the stable. It's been so long since you've had a ride. And so you do set out across the Crown Lands, out across those rolling fields that belong to you and the House of Tremaine. And you see ahead of you a fallen tree, and you pick up speed, the horse's hooves true as they strike the earth beneath you. And then you remember this moment. It was the hunt. Behind you on the hill, you can see the other men as you show off the prowess of Tremaine horses. And you leap. And the other side, you tumble. You tumble and you fall, and it's that feeling as if you must be about to wake up. But instead of waking up, you land on a soft bed of hay. And you lay in the hayloft, extending out an arm. And you find soft skin just across from you. Your sister, Tarla. She laughs as she looks at you. and reaches out and grasps and holds your hand. There's a peace that you haven't felt in a long time. And in your mind, you and Tarla laugh and watch as all of the gaunt men go away home. And the sun rises over this peaceful place. And you can watch it all from the safe and perfect castle of Famine's hold. You're the king of this castle. It's a soft voice that says that to you. And you feel her lips push against yours. And you turn your head thinking that your sister just kissed you. Thinking that should feel wrong. But it is not your sister's face you see, but the maid Ellen's. And she strokes your cheek gently. You're the king, Astor. And then in the back of your head you hear a bitter laugh. And somehow Jaime is walking through the hayloft and can see you both there in the hay. In his hand a goblet of wine. And he's tutting and laughing. You'll never be king, Astor. I'll be king. And for a moment his face shifts into a strange and twisted maw. And it is now you wake up. Out in the courtyard just beyond your room, you can hear the sound of horses moving away. The gaunt host, having taken some shelter for the night and settling, led by Sir Wendelgort, and his maester, they have begun to pack up and return to the Gaunt lands. But you've made an agreement to go with Wendell and Maester Otto to King's Landing to tidy up any remaining disagreements between your family. And I hand back to you, Lord Astor, on this your Namesday. Happy birthday, Astor.
Yay, 18. Hearing the sound of hooves going far away, leaving their lands as he intended. Remembering that the only reason why they're leaving is because he will have to make a sacrifice he was not willing to do, but was for the good of the house and to perpetuate the name Tremaine for more generations to come. He stands up and quickly gets ready because even though it is his name day, there are things that he wishes to do before he needs to depart to King's Landing. And I believe he would probably start with the most important thing, which would be before anyone has any more chance of hiding any evidence that might be there. He will try and find the maid Ellen, which curiously was part of his dream the night before, because she might know more than she led to believe the other day. He wants to find out what really happened with the spy that was carrying the vial of supposed poison.
The maid Tarla. All right. Before we dive into that, I need to catch up with the Chaos Chorus. They've been very busy, so I'm going to try and catch up with everything right now. I believe we've hit 20 retweets, which is going to unlock a boon. So something good is going to happen that will help the players in one of their goals. We've also unlocked a sub-event, so something big is going to happen. Probably not in the players' favor, because that's just how I roll. And Matt has donated, and I believe that was Big Crits. I will go and read the full donation in a moment. But thank you all so much. And thank you as well to Pope and to Celeste for those gift subs that unlocked that sub goal. It is all go. I am going to catch up, I promise. I see you all in chat, and thank you all for using the highlights and tags to let me know about these things. Much love. Finding the maid Ellen is not too difficult. You ask a servant or two, and they direct you to the guest rooms. She is going about the duties of tidying them, airing them, setting fires in the hearths. It's important to keep the damp out of this very holy castle. And she is knelt, scraping out the ashes in the hearth of what would be Allegra's room, if Allegra Allegra were home.
So yeah, Astor will just walk in and, as sternly as he can, muster a word.
Of course, my lord. She stands, dusts off herself, gives Bob a curtsy.
Before, you said that you had some sort of mistrust for the other maid, the one you've killed. What led you to think this? Did you find any physical proof, anything that might be useful? Or was it just suspicions?
I'm sorry I called you foolish. But
I will pretend I didn't hear that if you prove useful to me.
I've always known she was up to something. But I've never been able to catch her. She seems so unintelligent in her ways, but every time I think I'd catch her with something in her hand, there'd be nothing. And then, when I caught her in the maester's room, she had a perfectly good excuse, and I could find no evidence she'd been at the ink, and none of the birds were missing. But then, last night before, she was in her room and I heard it cawing. And I saw her throw it from the window, and I knew. I've seen it happen before, when a servant has sent word, when a spy sent a letter to someone to warn them. It was the same thing. I didn't mean to kill her, just tried to stop her.
Of course. No matter, you did well. But it does leave us in an uncomfortable position. The spy is now dead. There's no way to make her confess. That is problematic. Do you perhaps have any more suspicions about anyone else? If not, then at least show me to where this person used to hang around. Perhaps I can find some sort of evidence, some kind of hidden clue. That would be enough.
There was a man in the village she would visit with every second week. I don't know who he was, except he was a man. So maybe one of the guards knows him. As for anyone else in the castle, it's been chaos of late, and I haven't noticed anyone know. Her room's upstairs with ours. I don't think there's anything in her mattress. I took a look myself, particularly when the Lady Tarla's hairbrush went missing.
Of course.
You remember how alarmed she was that you'd think she was a thief?
Suddenly makes sense, doesn't it? She wouldn't want me meddling with her business.
She was a lady's maid, sir, so if it be anywhere, it may be in the ladies' rooms. There's lots of nooks and crannies here.
You're right. Thank you for the information. It is truly helpful, and if you continue to prove loyal, then I shall forget what happened last night.
If I can prove myself somehow, I'll think of a way. Would you take me with you, sir, my lord?
Suddenly Astor has a brief flashback to the previous night and the unexplainable dream, but quickly shakes it off, and if I have any usefulness for you, I shall call. And
the thing, my lord. There's no ladies in the castle. And while I do set a good hearth, I am a lady's maid, my lord.
Yes, well, I intend to change that as fast as I can. Don't you worry. You'll be back at your favorite job in no time.
Is there word of the Lady Tarla then?
Not that I feel comfortable sharing at the moment.
Of course, my lord, I'm sorry, I should not have asked.
It's okay. You were with her for quite some time now, weren't you?
About 5 years now, I think. My
Yes.
lord.
Well, then, probably more than anyone, you know what a soft soul she was, and she's dearly missed, so I will do whatever I can to get her back. People are looking, people will find her.
I'm sure.
Unless there's anything else you think might be useful regarding this matter, I shall take my leave and leave you to your business.
Happy Namesday, my lord.
Much appreciated. And he, without acknowledging it much, just turns back and will head to Tarla's room, I guess. Because Tarla was mainly Tarla's second handmaiden, right, as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll go to Tarla's room first and do an informed sweep of all the, because probably he would have spent also some time here with Tarla, so if there are any hidden places that would probably be good for hiding stuff, he would maybe know. I don't know, up to you. But try and find something that would link the gaunts to this.
I think we will use the boon at this point, and you can tell me a place in her room where Tarla would hide things, Nuno. So while you think about that, I also need to shout Apocalypse, who gives Astor a Bane, Pope, who gives Nuno for Astor a Happy Namesday crit, and Anna, who also gave Adeline a crit today. Told you to catch up, fam. They're all up on screen, so take a look at your crits so you know how many you've got. In this game, it counts as a keep dice, so you get to add a 1d6 to your pool, and you keep that as part of your result.
Perfect. Yeah, so I would think that Tarla, being as keen as she was, she would have found there some kind of partially closed off tunnel, of one of the many tunnels in the castle, and probably it wouldn't be able to fit anyone. It seems to be closed off and it doesn't access any other tunnel, but knowing how to open it from the wall would make out for a perfect hiding place for whatever it would be. So he instantly checks there.
I love
I'd
that.
say
Yeah, that's
besides the bed.
a very Tarla. So you push in to this crevice that is there, and normally Tarla keeps a small few things in here that are just hers. She has a chunk of hair from her previous horse's mane, her horse before R'hllor. Small trinkets like that, gifts that you've given her and the other family members have too. And her personal letters go in here, things that she wants to save, things that have been written to her. There's a small stack of letters from Allegra, and another bound up in a colourful ribbon from the Lady Rhiannon, who is your Bywater aunt. Relatively normal things, but clearly precious to Tarla, and left here. You find also a small bouquet of flowers which have wilted and look mostly sad, but they're strangely dry. in this place. Of all the crevices, this crevice was at least always dry, which is why Tarla could store things here and use it as she wished. But even as you move through these items, and you get that familiar Tarla smell of horses and hay and wildflowers, there's nothing out of place either. Just all of these things that make up your sister.
So we'll carefully pick up some of the smaller dried flowers in the bouquet, yanking them off the bouquet itself, and just keeps it close in one of the inner pockets or something of his tunic, and just puts it there. And just stays there for a good minute, just thinking and reminiscing of the past, of times much easier than they are now, but finding nothing that will immediately help him in the moment. He will respectfully leave everything else in place and close the secret entrance, obviously in hopes that one day Tarla may be able to use it again whenever Jaime and Adeline are back with her, he thinks.
As part of the boon of this crevice, Nuno, for the rest of the session, when making cunning memory checks, you are going to gain a +1 keep dice.
Ooh, okay. Cool. Yeah, so after that, he doesn't think there's anywhere, at any place else that might warrant any search in the room. So we'll quickly go through the maid's chambers just to double check. Even though Ellen said that she had checked before, he will go there and just quickly look around, see if there's anything linking Tarla to anything else. But in case there isn't, then he will immediately try and pursue the men that Ellen said that Tarla used to chat with on a bi-weekly basis. And for that, probably he would find one of the guards that would typically be stationed in this section of the castle. See if they know anything about this mysterious man.
All right, so why don't you make a... Let's see, to find someone. I'm going to say, let's do a status test. If you have any bonus dice streetwise, you can apply that as well, which is under knowledge.
Nope. He's absolutely not streetwise. Let's see. 1. That's a 12.
Ooh, very good. All right, so you find a guard, and we are going to call him... Nathan. Perfect. Guard Nathan. Guard Nathan Barrow is his full name. And he is able to summarize the basic comings and goings. He gives you the maid's routine when they will come in during the day to change the hearth, turning down of the beds, specific requests that the various ladies have had recently. He tells you of your niece's very curious behavior. The Lady Danella was very entertaining to this guard. He, of course, didn't pay any undue attention, but she did seem to like to wander. And he was never sure where she was going to be appearing from when he did next see her. He tells you that he knows that Tarla was familiar with a man in the town, a former miller, who turned his hand to sheep rearing. But that the farmer was a tragic sort, and he isn't sure there's much to come of it. He doesn't know the man's name as such, but he knows about the guy because everyone talks about how badly the sheep thing is going for him. That's the running joke, essentially. And the joke...
And he's able to confirm that.
because the sheep give him the runaround. Sorry, what was your question, Nino?
And he's able to confirm that this man used to meet with Darla with the same frequency that Ellen also mentioned, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. In that case...
As you're finishing this conversation, though, your new Master of Arms, Garen, appears, and he's definitely looking for you. He comes straight to it, not really caring that he's interrupting a conversation you're having. He says, "My lord, the small folk have gathered in the village. They want an audience for your Namesday, but with the Gaunts, they're waiting. I wonder what I might tell them."
Whew. Yes, of course. Forgot about that. Busy day. Yeah, tell me it will happen, nonetheless, soon. Just have one more business to attend, and then I shall go down to the hall. Can you do that?
I'll let them know to come to the hall.
Thank you.
He
And turn... No. Turn back to guard Nathan. And ask him... So, since you know who this man is, if I were to relieve you of your duty here, could you go into town and make sure you bring him here without causing any ruckus? I might have a few questions for him, if that's okay, of course.
Make a persuasion convince, you know.
Okay.
Basically, this is going to be an easy test. You're just looking for a 6. Perfect.
13.
I was just curious if you could critical fail it, because you are Nuno. Perfect.
I mean, it would have been possible, Charlie, you know.
It's always possible. Okay. Sorry. Getting my dragon in early. I've got that Maester Barnaby shade up in my head. I can't help it. He gives a nod. He'll bring the man up. And he'll have him join the line in the audience if you'd like. Or would you prefer him brought straight to you?
Yeah, no, brought straight to Astor. Yeah, for sure. It's a sensitive topic.
He'll agree.
Yeah, so in that case, if Nathan goes and does that, then I guess he would quickly... probably not, because the people are waiting, right? So he would probably try and deal...
The small folk have to come up the hill to the hall, and then they'll have to start their little line and stuff. So you've got a little bit of time while they set up. They've been essentially anxiously hiding in the village, not sure if they're allowed up to the house, because there's a massive army that is slowly decamping off of your lawn.
Of course, yeah. But they're definitely all leaving, right? There's no remaining host that's staying behind, or is there?
You could go and take a look if you like.
Absolutely.
All right. So, how would you like to take a look? Would you like to just look out of a window? Do you want to go down and investigate?
I'd probably go down and investigate proper, and in the meanwhile, keep an eye out for Diffin, because he would like to have a word with Diffin before the small folk arrive. So try and find him, and meanwhile, try and go down and see what's happening with the Gaunts, if they are honoring what they said and waiting for the trip to King's Landing.
Right, as you keep an eye out for Diffin, you'll pass his quarters as you're in the kind of noble bedroom section of the castle. But his door is slightly open, and as you can kind of peek in, you can see that it is empty. He's not currently in his room. It's possible he's gone down for breakfast, but you're not currently sure. And as you pass through the castle, no one can tell you exactly where he is. Not in a suspicious way, just in a, I saw him a little while ago, but can't tell you where he is right now. Were we meant to keep an eye on him, Lord Astor? Someone probably panics. And you push out into the courtyard, and you can see that the majority of the host is leaving. There is a lot of mess left behind, as would happen when 70 odd people gather on horses with armor
of course.
and then down on your lawn. And the main encampment, which housed Wendell and Maester Otto, is still there. There are still some tents up, and their personal host is still there. You get the impression that there are a number of kind of senior gaunt guards that have almost been posted near the hold, and they are being very vigilant, and they are actively watching, actively guarding.
Okay. Fair enough. So upon seeing that and no sign of Diffin, I think Astor would go out, probably take a guard or two just to accompany him, and kind of just for a walk and see what the reaction of the gaunt hosts and the important people would be, and also to try and subtly check if Diffin is perhaps conspiring with the enemy.
As you take your walk, where exactly are you going,
So you mentioned there were some guards outside the hold proper, right? Some gaunt guards. So
you
through them.
So the hold sits on a hill, and it's got a main path which goes down. Somewhere down that path sits the village. It's a direct road, and then by the village is the main road which goes out to King's Landing. And then around there you've got fields, trees, and then on the far west side you've got the river.
And the guards are stationed, I assume, closer to the village, yeah?
Yeah, they're between the hold and the village, kind of along that road.
And the people where are they gathering at the moment? Are they already coming up, or?
You can see essentially a line of small folk making their way up. Some of them are bringing cows, there's sheep in baskets. They seem to be in a relatively good mood, but every time they pass a gaunt guard, there's the risk of incident, essentially, as they don't like the gaunts any more than you do. Some are more wary than others, and some are actively trying to provoke these guards. This is Tremaine land. They don't want to be occupied.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Well, in that case, if they're already coming up and passing by the guards, then he will just have a stroll outside the door, see if he can see anything in the distance, if he spots Diffin perchance. If not, then he will just go back in and wait for the people to arrive.
You see Diffin as you come out of the hold and kind of browse the scene. He is mounted on a horse and appears to be out for a ride, just kind of over the hill to the other side, down towards actually the fallen log that you spectacularly failed to jump. But it was just as well, if you remember, because the other side of the fallen log there is a massive reservoir of water that's built up where one of the tunnels of Famine's hold had collapsed. But he's kind of out in that direction. He has with him a House Tremaine guard, as would be kind of normal, and is taking a ride.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Apocalypse, for those 2 crits. For me.
So, hey! You too deserve them, Charlie. Yeah, okay, so would you reckon there's time to quickly mount up and reach Diffin for a chat, or would Astor see that the people are almost here and save the conversation for after he receives the people?
People are on their way, but you are the lord of the house. You get to essentially set the agenda. You could have them wait for 4 hours if you wanted, and they would wait.
So absolutely doesn't want to keep them waiting. Yeah, so it doesn't want to keep them waiting. It's just a matter of if he has time, and if they wait like half an hour, sure. But if they have to wait for a long time all together and bundled, then he doesn't want to do that, as morale is probably already quite low due to the gaunt presence.
I leave the choice up to you.
Okay. Oh, well, in that case, Astor will go back inside and start preparing things to receive everyone.
All right, so we'll roll forwards say 10, 15 kind of minutes as you set up for the hall. The servants have done what they can to kind of clear back benches and tables to make room, and your master at arms, Garen, appears, and he's brought with him a carpet. And this carpet is a long piece of fabric which is brought out for Namesday, and it has the sigil of House Tremaine on it with the 2 reapers either side of that sheaf of corn in gold and black. And there's also more elements to it that include horses, the landscape of the crown lands, things like that. It's this huge tapestry, but it's used as a carpet runner on the Namesday, and it's up this runner that the small folk and your family would normally approach to wish you happy birthday.
But it turns out I have no family. No one's here.
It turns out you have no family, except partway through your greeting of the small folk, you've been given chickens, eggs, fish, nets, small tokens like that, which generally it's look at the great things we do on your land, sir. This is where you get your taxes from. And these things are kind of sent to the kitchen, or you gift them back and you wish them a great Namesday, but you ask them for the next year, will you give me a beautiful harvest? Or, something like that. It's that kind of a relationship. It's very token. It's I would give you this cow. I'd rather you didn't actually take it, but look, it's a beautiful cow.
And I assume Astor would probably do exactly that. So at this point of low morale, he would just give everything back and say, trust, everything will be fine, blah, blah, blah. Next year, let's continue to prosper and thrive, and whatever you produced is yours and mine as well. So I re-gift you the gift.
One of the wealthier farmers gives you an actual gift in the form of a, a new bow that he said he's traded for, and he wishes to give you for your next hunt.
Absolutely. We'll graciously accept the gift and lay it on the side where he's sitting and keep it there. But it's noticeable that there's some inkling of bows. I'm traumatized by bows. I wonder why.
And it's almost made worse by his comment as he does so that he doesn't mind should you hunt a gaunt with it. Its aim will be true no matter what you choose to target. But he'll kind of clear his throat and step back. He's had to step a little bit too close to mutter in your direction. And as he does, behind him, you see a man that you recognize, a man who was here last time you took audience, a man called Carlin, who presented to you his daughter and her child previously. But this time he brings only the child, and he pushes them forwards by the shoulder. And the child has wrapped in their hands a fabric bundle, which they hold out, and they say, "For you, my lord uncle." This is a four-year-oldish child, small, tiny person, and they're holding out this fabric.
So Astor kind of kneels down in just token gesture to the child. "I'm afraid you are mistaken, young one, but I shall take it nonetheless," and grab the bundle and carefully try and see what it is before flashing it into display.
And you open it up and you find in there a whittled set of a knife and fork from wood. They're crudely made, possibly by the child, with some help from supervising adults. Please do not whittle things. It's very sharp, dangerous.
So he'll, as seeing that it's just an innocuous gift, just will open it again and... Was it you who made this, young one?
Yes, my lord.
It's very talented of you. I'd expect nothing else from someone that lives in my lands. Have you ever used a fork before?
I like my fingers. My lord is quicker.
Of course you do. kind of laughs slightly louder to the more upper echelon kind of people present, and almost trying to pass it off as, sure, peasant, but without saying it. As he's trying to, at the moment, distance himself as much as possible from this family, because ain't nobody got time for this now. And he will continue, well, perhaps it's time you've learned, and rebundles the cutlery and gives it back. I appreciate your gift, but I think it would be better used with you, and give it back to him.
I heard you'd been sick, my lord. Mother made the shawl, and I thought Mother always says I should eat up when I'm sick. And this kid is just like, doesn't know what to do now this gift's being given back to him.
Yeah. Oh, you've heard I was sick, yeah? Do I look sick to you, young one? I don't think so. Kind of ruffle his hair a little bit and slowly turn him around and gesture towards the, which I assume was the grandfather, yeah? Was the man from last time, yeah.
Yeah, if you remember, the allegation was that your older brother, who died in the Battle of Redgrass, is the child's father. You sent men to kind of investigate, but it's been a couple of days, really, and a lot's happened, and it's not been a priority as such.
Absolutely not! So yeah, he will, as the kid is, I hope, walking back towards his grandfather, he will speak to the man. Perhaps your grandchild might be a talented artisan in the future. It is a good start. If you would like to move to the back of the line, perhaps we can speak more about artisanry of your grandchildren. As he, literally trying to shove them.
You made it all the way to the front. Now please go back to the back, and then we'll have a conversation again.
So, because I assume as people are coming in and gifting things, they are leaving to obviously just leave the home, right? And just go back.
Some of them kind of stay to the back and the side just to watch. It's meant to be a celebration. But yeah, some people just shuffle out. Like, they take the cows with them, go back to what they're doing. They've got a full day ahead of them. They've got shit to get done. But some people do kind of linger.
Yeah.
See what everyone else is getting. See if anyone's getting the nod from the Lord.
So yeah, the idea behind sending him to the back of the line being that perhaps once all this is over, then people start walking away, they can stay and we can chat a bit more.
Okay, we're gonna keep this simple. I think this is a persuasion convince. You know that this guy is not afraid of making a scene.
Yeah, exactly. That's a 21.
Okay, nailed it. That's very good. Heroic. He takes a breath and gives you a nod that he'll wait to speak to you later.
Yeah.
And he'll distract the child and make a few nice-ish comments of, well done. It's going to be a very fine knife and fork. We'll practice when we get home. Lord Hastur's name day, everyone. Great day. Yep. And he passes back. And next in line is a mama. And you can tell this because they are dressed from head to toe in bright mismatched fabrics. And strung around their neck is a stringed instrument, which they begin to play. With lavish and obnoxious abhorrence. It's a song they have written about House Tremaine, its many fine mares, and how a huntress always finds her prey. Sorry, I'm just watching Nuno slowly melt in the corner of my screen. And the song ends with the question, but what does the hunter find? And it's a repeated line over and over. The crowd seem to enjoy the song, and they laugh at the various references to House Tremaine mares. It's definitely tongue-in-cheek and bawdy, but it seems to go down well with the crowd. It's not too slanderous that they're offended by it. But your response is entirely up to you.
Yeah. So at the beginning, as the lyrics progress, he's definitely not entertained at all until he starts seeing the people enjoying it, and at that point, he will slowly pretend to be amused in order to keep everyone happy at this point. But once the song is over, he'll probably say something like, very good song, although be careful with what you say. I believe if you had time to write this song, then probably you know what we do with people that cross House Tremaine, don't you? Just wait for his reaction.
I would like you to make a persuasion intimidate roll as you slide out this reference, which basically telling this man, don't play that song again or I will strap you to a millstone and pull you in 3 different directions. Fine.
Pretty much. 15.
Ooh. Alright. That beats his passive. And there's a visible gulp. His Adam's apple kind of jumps up and down in his throat. Would you care for another one, sir? My lord. He gets it right.
Perhaps. Perhaps it depends on what the next one is. Kind of still smiling face, just like slightly menacing.
How about the fair maids of summer, my lord? It's my own spin on the maids of spring.
Who doesn't like the maids of spring, then? Carry on and let him play whatever music he wants.
He begins, and essentially he kind of struts up and down the line playing this song. His voice carries well within the main hall. And at the end, as he gets near the door, he strikes up a little bit that song he composed again. And it hits the what does the hunter find, and the audience begins to say gaunt. And they laugh, and it becomes a joke. And he stops playing it, and he kind of dives into a different song, another bawdy one, and he glances to you, and there's a tiny bead of sweat. Tiny bead of sweat. And
ooh.
The song continues.
So
in the line.
Yeah, so if it's sorry, you cut off a little bit. Yeah. So if he purposely looks in my direction while he does that little stunt, then Astor will just, as he's looking, will just like slowly move his hand to the side of the Lord's chair and just slowly taps in musical rhythm the hilt of his sword and let him continue.
Will test, please, Astor. Willpower.
What was that, Charlie? Sorry.
Like make a will test, please.
Yep.
That will.
Oof, that's just an 8. 611.
Right.
Hey!
You will have this song stuck in your head for the remainder of the day.
I hate it.
This will be your bane, Astor. Every time you stop focusing on something else, this song will slip into your head and it will not stop. You will find yourself humming it, tapping it. You are going to count as distracted, and your awareness tests are going to be made at -1d. Just for today. This is your bane. Thank you very much, Apocalypse. I love dishing out the earworms.
Let's admit it, it's probably a good song.
It's not, it's not Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's definitely, you know, living on a prayer. You're gonna get a good bop onto it, you know.
Sure.
You only need 3-4 chords to make a bop here in Westeros. So you have a song. Happy Namesday. Next in line is a Gaunt guard who essentially hands over to you a letter from Wendell Gaunt. It outlines that there will be a small contingent of Gaunt men left to help protect your lands while you attend business in King's Landing. And that Wendell Gaunt awaits your leave, essentially. He's waiting for you to go when you're ready. It's not a let's go now, it's a when you're ready, we'll go. Well, let me know, I'm outside.
Okay, fair enough. Obviously, we'll not read it. Probably he would say something out loud. It appears that our esteemed guests wouldn't want to join in the celebration. Well, more merriment for us then. Let us continue. And as he orders the Gaunt Guard to leave and ushers the next person up.
And essentially it goes back to farmers and fishers and the like. You get a very nice suggestive loaf of bread from one older lady from the village. It's decorated with dried olives, that kind of a thing, but it's definitely in a suggestive shape. And she is smirking because she knows exactly what it is, and she knows you probably know what it is, although you are a young man. And says that your birthday is an important one, and it's very important for a growing young man to eat all of his bread.
Oh my god, these peasants are the worst.
Somehow they still love you, Astor. Somehow.
Deep down, they know that all the ill things that fell the house were not Astor's fault. Deep down.
And I imagine she makes some kind of side comment of, I really hope the Gaunts aren't staying. I'm sure you're going to take care of it, though, my lord. Enjoy your bread. Etc. etc.
So as everyone finishes their gifts, I assume that plenty of them would be food that would be ready to eat, right? Like the bread and other stuff.
Yeah. Perfect. Is there anything else you'd like to do while you have an audience? Hello?
Oops, sorry. I think
okay.
I cut a little bit there. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? We good? What's going on? I just see Nuno looking confused.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, so Nuno, is there anything Astor would like to do while he has an audience of his people? So I assume lots of the gifts would have been edible, right? Like in the moment. Yeah, okay. So he would invite, like, probably tell the guards and whatnot and the servants to gather like everyone near a table of some sorts and just spread all the gifts that are edible on the table and invite whoever there's, like, not in a menacing way, literally just like whoever wants to eat, this is our land, the fruit of our land, please let's share in its thriving together. And maybe people will be too scared to do it, but it's a genuine request. Okay. Yeah. Why don't you make a status stewardship roll?
Gotcha. Ooh.
As you're kind of looking after your house in this moment.
That's a 14.
Good. So the people relax, they eat, it's very jovial, the hall is full. And it's kind of a good spirit that is left behind at the end of this audience. You do see by the door, Carlin is waiting with the child. It's not a menacing presence, but it's, you know, we agreed. You're going to talk to me. I'm here waiting to talk to you.
So yeah, definitely as the food starts to finish and people start leaving and I assume the man and the child are still there, he will usher them forward so they can speak more privately. So, Last time you were here, you had some quite serious allegations. I assume that... Excuse me?
He begins to interrupt, and I think he stops, and he lets you continue.
As I was saying, you approached me with some serious allegations. I assume you are here to discuss them even further, correct?
Not allegations, my lord. I've told you the truth of the matter. It is not that I seek any legitimacy, but I still require the stipend for my roof.
Naturally, you understand that this is not an easy thing to prove, correct? Especially because, well, my brother is dead. It would be very easy for anyone with a child with brown hair to come in here and claim the same thing you claimed. You do understand that, correct?
I do. And yet I am the only one who has done it. And I do it because it is the truth. By the seven, my lord.
And do you do it because it's the truth? Or because you don't respect this house and think you can get away with it? This is the question that floats in my mind at the moment. And with this sentence in me there, just trying to assess his reaction to see if he's still staying stalwart or kind of backing up a little bit.
All right, I'd like you to make a read target test, please. This is an awareness test versus the target's passive deception. From this, you'll get to know the disposition towards you and the previous technique used, and you'll gain a possible bonus dice. But remember, you have an earworm.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there,
So
it's
it's
back of
just...
your mind. What does the hunter find?
I don't care what the hunter finds. Get out of here. So it's just a 9 then.
All right. He's difficult to read as you look at him. He stands before you relatively confident in his stance. And you can't tell. You just don't know if this man is telling you the truth or not. You can't tell if he brings ill will towards you.
And yeah, so does he have a reply to that veiled threat?
You think I would embarrass my daughter in front of the entire village with a false accusation? And you see just a glint of anger as he says that. And he kind of moves his hands so they're not resting on the child's shoulders, but they're more like nearer the neck, almost as if he's about to cover the child's ears a little bit. He's got these big hands, big worker hands that are kind of scarred and corns and things on them.
I would expect not. Someone that makes their living from my land, I hope them to be honest and care for their family, their daughter, and their grandchildren. Is that what you're here to do?
My lord. Someone who makes their living from the land would care for their family. Brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews. He counters very quickly.
So tell me, were I to believe that this is true, what would you require?
Simply a small amount of money to fix the roof. I would give you a number, Nuno, but I don't have one right now, so just...
Yeah, don't worry, yeah.
I'm not going to figure out how
it's probably not too much, probably.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of money.
It's about the message.
Yeah.
It's about the message, not the money.
The summer has been warm, but also stormy. The whole place is damp and sodden. The river's rising, my lord. You sent a man to look out the roof, but I heard no more after that.
Well, you might have noticed that recent events have kept me quite busy. I appreciate your insistence, but I am looking into it. I am not sure if you are telling the truth, but my truth is that I do not wish for my people to go through a winter without a roof. I'll see what can be done. But, mark my words, this is not an endless font of favors. If I do this for you, this is it. And you'll never mention this ever again to anyone.
So we are clear, my lord. If I agree, I am never to tell anyone who the father of this child is. You will never recognize who the father of this child is.
Until you bring me evidence, I'm afraid I cannot do such a thing.
And you can actively see his brain deciding what to do. The grip tightens slightly, and the child looks up in response, and then to you, and then down at the floor, because he's not meant to look the Lord in the eyes. Carlin says, "Keep your roof money. I promise you, my Lord Astor, this family has more than one bastard. Just because mine isn't half Targaryen makes it no less valid." And he's going to make a playful convince roll against you. This is him taking an action, so I'm going to actually roll that for you. And I'll roll it publicly so people can see. Let's get my thing open. As we do this, I want to say thank you to Apocalypse, who has donated for another Bane for someone of my choice. I'm going to hold on to that. I think Astor is suffering enough with being head of house. I think someone else will be enjoying that in a moment. And I will also go and check our retweets. I'm very curious to see if we hit 30 retweets yet. We were up to, I think, 24 when last I looked. The retweet count might need to go up, but I'll see. All right, Roll20 is choosing not to load, so I'm going to come into the one that we used to capture. So apologies for the mouse. It's me. Hi. And I'm going to make his roll. / roll. I can't type. Yep. Right. Ooh, a 13 versus your thing.
My thing is 11.
Ooh, so that is a success. It's 1 degree. So he will do 3 points of composure damage to you. We're going to keep it pretty simple. I don't want to go through the whole lot, but essentially, it gets through to you a little bit. Don't forget, though, your disposition towards him will probably soak an amount of this.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
It's much harder to persuade someone who doesn't like you of anything.
I mean, this man is absolutely indifferent to me, which is the modifier is 3, so it's 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Astor will bite his tongue for a brief second and... Don't be a foolish old man. You know as well as I do that your claim is unfounded, and this is why you came here twice in such quick succession, because you want to rush this matter. I understand that if this is true, then you might feel slighted. But as it stands, the house and this land has more pressing matters. What I am offering you is already quite generous. If you do not wish to take it, then perhaps something else might happen to you and your family, especially if you don't agree of keeping this matter silent. But I am still not withdrawing my offer from the table, so think carefully.
All right, what would you like to roll, Astor? What do you think the overall effect of that was? I definitely got some intimidation, I got some bargaining, and I got some convincing. What do you think is going to be your...
So I'm definitely leaning... So definitely the intimidation part is because he's learning to do that, but he's definitely leaning on the convince a bit more. Because literally, don't be stupid, you can have this, or something bad happens.
Okay, so if you succeed on an intimidate, if we have to look at the cheat sheet really quickly, you drive off the target, or they do as you ask so long as you remain in their presence. Their disposition towards you after completing the action worsens to unfriendly or worse. So if you kind of resolve this with intimidating him, he's going to go away, but he knows that you threatened him, right?
Yeah.
I kind
so that's
of
why
think
I'm leaning more. Okay.
If you succeed, because you've kind of made it clear at this point he's a nuisance to you. You don't believe him, and you need him to go away now, please, or he's not going to get anything.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, I think it's not a matter of not believing him. It's just not. I don't have time nor the disposition to deal with this now, right? Actually, because you mentioned that the kid was actually quite. He had some features, right? The first time he showed up, yeah. So I think
I mean, the Tremaines
what's happening here is
are super recognizable in the features, but you know, it's not a dissimilar hair color, similar blue eyes going on.
Yeah. So I think deep down, Astor believes the man. It's just that he knows that he cannot do it, because if he does this for this man, then everyone will try and pull the same shit over again. So it's more of a, look, I'm with you, but don't be stupid. It's either this or nothing. So I don't know. If you think it's intimidate, then I'll roll intimidate. Where is this?
You could also take bargain. The target does something for you in exchange for you doing something for the target. The quality of the deal depends on their disposition. So
yeah, let's do bargain. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. 11. Yikes.
Yeah.
2 1s. What?
Good job. Do you have any benefits to help you with that?
No, I can't. If you allow me, I can spend one of my keep dice and bump that up by a little bit.
Normally we say you've got to declare it before, but I'll allow you to roll one for this because it's a good intrigue, and
I'll just roll 1. Not feel like I'm cheating too much. So 15 total.
Okay, much better. All right. I'm not sure what the bargain is, but we'll say that you succeed in your menace. He's going to agree to this. He will agree to leave you alone for the meantime, so long as the roof is taken care of. But he wants you to remember that this child is your nephew.
Yeah, so I think it will be definitely that kind of deal, like never saying it out loud, but sure, I understand you, man, but I can't do it. I'll fix your roof. Get away. Go away, yeah.
And it's tense, and I imagine there's a tiny bit of, back and forth negotiations as you've kind of put your foot down, but just nailing it out. He leaves frustrated, but the roof will be fixed at least, and he's got some recognition from you that the child is, that he's not a liar to start with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he'll step away. And I think what we will do is also step away from Astor for a moment. As the hall is now cleared away of your small folk, you're left with the remains of Namesday feast and a variety of items which you never asked for but you now own. Jaime, you never asked to be on the road with a small boy or your tempestuous cousin. You did, however, frequently ask for a glass of wine. Unfortunately, it has been nearly 4 days now since you've had a drink. And every time you lay down, you have a nauseous feeling a dizzy, weak feeling. And it's become hard to concentrate on anything. And the road just seems very long. But yesterday, you were finally given something, a lead. You were told, just outside of town, in the woods, there's been some strange gatherings. And there were enough details given to you about these gatherings that it seems not just someone wanting to land their neighbors in it for naked dancing in the woods. There's just enough. No, this was weird, very weird, that it seems worth checking on. You've traveled so far north, west, that you're not quite sure where you are anymore. But Adeline and Sir Tim are still with you. So, with that information, I'm going to hand it to you to set what Jaime is doing in this moment.
Jaime's probably just setting the saddle back onto his horse and showing Sir Tim the ins and outs of decent saddlebags setup. But is just very occasionally just licking his lips. Did you know that the first men, said Tim, rode without stirrups? Incredibly hard feat. One, I believe, the Dothraki still do.
What's a Dothraki?
The Dothraki are huge, dangerous men from across the narrow sea, living in a grassland known as the Dothraki Sea, a sea of green and gold. And across that land they gallop in hordes of horses you have never imagined. They're incredible horsemen, given their lack of equipment.
Is that who you're descended from? Said Jaime.
No.
Jaehaerys, what names did we agree upon again?
It's fine, Tim. Jaime is fine. Or sir.
Yes, sir.
No, the line of Valyria is much older and further to the south. But we know better than the Dothraki, don't we, Tim? And so stirrups are a must, and adjusted to the rider's height and leg length.
Being smaller makes it easier.
That's true. But set a stirrup wrong, Tim, and you can have a serious case of backache by the time the day is done.
I watched Lord
And
Astor
he
set out on the hunt.
reaches for his back.
Yeah.
like thanks, Tim.
I watched Lord Astor set out for the hunt, Sir Jaime. His jump was not so clean. But I don't think that was a stirrup problem. Because Sir Bryce Rushton set them himself.
Yes, well, quite.
Is your back hurting, Sir Jaime?
Not today, Tim. Not today. And he pats the
And-
boy, on his head.
And he reaches into his various kind of things that he's brought with him. He didn't bring very much with him because it was there's people, I'm going to go after them kind of a mission that he put himself on. But he brought a few number of things that he normally carries with him when working with horses. And out of his pocket is a small wooden pot, which he holds out to you. It's horse oil, sir. We normally rub it on the horses after you've run them ragged, but I mean, after you've used them, but it might help your back, sir.
Thank you.
It's hot as a dragon flame.
Okay. Can I judge what this is?
Yeah.
Is he genuinely giving me Westerosi DP, or is he like, is this just, I don't know, some spit in a jar?
You take the jar and you open it up, and there's that familiar smell. This has been a smell that you've been around horses. This is something they wrote on horses. It's 100% that smell. Kind of that camphor, clove smell. Thank you so much for that donation, Apocalypse. I will catch up in a moment.
Well, thank you, Tim. Now check the straps, right? I'll just be a moment.
Yes, sir.
And Jamie's going to move over to the little camp they've probably had and just see if Adeline is ready to go.
Yeah, so where you find Adeline is she's sitting and she's set to go, but she's looking at the letters, just kind of deep in thought, kind of mumbling to herself their contents.
Are they giving you any comfort?
They're giving me more concern than comfort at this moment. I may have thought about this wrong, a couple of these lines. These lines about seek my true sibling, do what you must. I may have been blinded, I always thought of it as her brothers. But considering what we all know now, it could be this group that we're looking for.
Yes, I imagine it's the most obvious option.
It's the most obvious option, and they might not take kindly to people of the Targaryan line. If I'm reading this correctly.
There was never any question of our parentage, was there?
Not that I know of. She had the traits of her family. I admit that had crossed my mind as well. But I don't know anymore. I appear to be at a little bit at a loss. It's all so cryptic. If this was simply find my brothers and kill them, I'd be more comfortable with it. I don't know what all this mess about find my true family, all this mess with the Targaryens, this symbol, the 3 dragons. This concerns me more than anything else. We're already on bad terms being on the other side during the war. I don't think this family needs any more issues with being loyal.
Yes, go find my sisters. Most likely these woods witches we hunt.
Yeah, yes. And if she knew about the feast, so it seems I worry that if we do find them, they know we're coming already.
Well then. Well, at least if we think like that, then we can prepare ourselves for it.
Yes. These small groups, these little clandestine orders they can be hostile, they can be... Things can become aggressive and dangerous relatively fast.
Well, I can try approaching them. Perhaps you're best put behind a tree with an arrow in your quiver.
And what about the boy?
Yes, Sir Jaime, where am I going to be? And Tim has somehow arrived behind you and is stood there, all ready for his duty.
Well, we need someone to look after the horses, Tim, and provide us a quick getaway should we need it.
I shall set the stirrups for racing.
Please do. Well, it's no use hanging around here, is it? Shall we?
Well, we must go before the lead gets cold.
Remind me, Sam and Shauna, you gave Sir Tim a blade, right?
Mm.
Or am I misremembering that? I feel like you
Say
armed
yes.
the kid with something.
Arm the child.
Say yes. Why not?
Alright. While we're on the yes, why not train, Apocalypse donated Sam to give you a truth. If you remember Terra RPG, very similar deal. You get to tell me something that is true about the scene or the world in this moment, and I add to it. You can do this at any time you like, but it will have to be this session, either kind of before the end, ideally.
Can I frame the kind of environment where we find these people a bit?
Yeah.
All I'm looking for is a ledge. Like a good overhang that we can sit on top of and watch them from above, so that we've got like a decent vantage point and we're pretty out of the way. And
all right, I'm not going to use this as your truth, but I'm going to give you this as kind of a little narrator benefit because I think this is cool. All right, so the way you find them, you go out into the woods, and there's this stream that runs through, and overhanging it is a kind of a chunk of rock. And there's kind of a dugout, as if it's almost like a little cave, but it's not quite deep enough to be a cave. And around that, on either side, it's all trees. It's kind of a really close-in forest, but you've got this overhang ledge, which is kind of a short, sharp drop of about 6 to 10 feet from the top to the stream level.
Okay. How deep's the stream? Just like
probably like up to knees at the deepest, you would think.
Yeah, okay, so approaching, you miraculously get a coffee. Approaching, I reckon, well, I don't know, Shauna, what do you reckon? We take a stealthy approach around the wooded bit, right? I want to kind of get on, not, if it's kind of a cavey thing, I don't think sitting on top of the overhang is going to be any benefit, really.
Yeah.
I think the location you're looking for is on the other side of the stream from the overhang. The overhang is probably where they would shelter, but where they're practicing is the other side of the stream. So your overhang will work as you would like in this instance.
Okay.
Because I think it's cool.
Yeah, okay. So do we dismount the horses early and then, like, crawl army crawl our way up the
Yeah.
the overhang.
Yeah, leave the horses and fair distance away, and then make it by foot.
Yeah.
So we
yeah.
can
And you can
at least
So go ahead, Shauna.
at least get some appraise the locations. Make sure no one's seen us or double back, so we're not actually like caught by their scouts as well, if they have any.
All right, so we're going to make a couple of rolls to kind of determine how this goes. I would like you both to make a stealth roll, and I'd like you both to make an awareness notice check.
I'm going to use my test dice in my frame on the stealth roll.
Okay.
I will use that as
I
well.
am not great at stealth.
All right, one of those each.
It's good too.
And Tim is staying back with the horses as told.
Yeah.
Because Tim, unlike Thorn, does do what he's told.
All right, post dice 1. 17 and an awareness notice. Okay.
All right,
Dice.
Sam, what was your stealth?
Oh, I get to re-roll
28.
that. Sorry. Roll that 1.
8.
Okay, so that is 20.
All right, Sam, what was your awareness notice?
16. I did better that time.
Shauna, what was your stealth in the end?
That is 18.
18. And what was your awareness notice?
Oh no, sorry. My sneak was 17 and my notice was 18.
17, 18. Perfect. All right, cool. So you crawl your way up, and Jamie, your sword is getting stuck on all kinds of leaf litter, and you kind of push it up onto your hands and knees, and it's muddy and it's uncomfortable, and it's awkward. It's really hard to move through this terrain quietly between leaf litter, ferns, and debris, and just general wearing of anything. It's all getting stuck and snagged, and you're kind of having a miserable time. Adeline, rather than crawling on your belly, you push up onto kind of the tips of your toes and you stay low, and it makes it slightly easier. It makes your movement very slow, but you are more effectively quiet than Jamie. And as you reach the crest, the highest point on this kind of overhang, you look out and you can see there is a semicircular space that has been cleared. The trees kind of form a small ring around it. The bushes, the ferns have been cleared back, and so too the leaf litter. This is barren dirt. In the middle, you can see the ring of stones. They're much smaller than you'd imagined from the description. In your head, you maybe had more like standing stones in mind, but it's more a small ring of boulders, pebbles from the spring. But both of you notice the creaking of the trees, something moving, something hung from the trees. And as you get closer to that overhead and your eyes are in, that is when you see 3 bodies strung by their feet, their hair cascading down towards the ground. 3 women, very clearly dead, just swaying, their mouths open, eyes open, staring.
Are we reportedly anywhere near a hamlet, little village, anything?
You're about like a day out from the hamlet where you were told. There's some weird stuff going on in the woods down by this stream.
Okay.
No one told you, though, that people were missing. You weren't, no one said, our Harriet's gone walkabout and there's weird women in the woods. There's something strange going on down there. Didn't like it when I was going through, but that was kind of all you got.
Keep watch. I'll go see what it is.
She'll
Jamie
nod.
kind of rather unflatteringly kind of rolls around the hill a little bit, skids down onto the actual level of it, and then slowly with his hand on hilt walks around, just looking around, walking up to the three bodies very, very slowly. What kind of smell do they give off in terms of decomposition? Like, how old would I guess they would be?
They definitely have been dead a while. There's a number of flies, insects just hovering around. And you know the weather's been damp, which would accelerate any kind of decomposition. And the fact there's a lot of wildlife in a forest. So it's hard to like pinpoint of this was yesterday, but this wasn't like 10 minutes ago. These have been here a little while.
Okay.
And as you get closer, the thing you'll notice is their hair at the root appears to be slowly bleaching. One of the girls has very dark hair, and the other two have kind of a medium brown color, but as you get closer, you can see from the roots a good 3-4 inches of it is bleaching out to white.
I'll kind of move the hair and move the hanging body a little in with my longsword. And so, just so I get this right, essentially, it looks in a modern sense, it looks like they've been dyeing very bleached hair to a brown color, and they've got roots like blonde.
It would be as if if someone had brilliant white hair, and it had grown out and been dark, or these all look like young women, so it seems unlikely, or if they had suddenly gone grey. And they just had the grey color, but this is more a white. It's difficult for you to tell if it's the whites of the root.
Right, got you.
As opposed to a dip dye, it's a growth.
Yeah.
You notice that the bodies are relatively swollen, and as I said, they're suspended by their feet. And the rope is cutting deep into that flesh, which is kind of this strange, translucent color now.
Is the rope within like sword swinging distance?
Yes, you could, with reason, reach up and slash it down.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that to at least the first body that is right by me. Give it a swing and a slash, and presumably a kind of a step back and as it kind of slumps onto the floor and kind of splats.
There's a crunch and a splat to it, and it's losing a lot of kind of form integrity now that it's been disturbed.
With a gloved hand, I want to reach down to her eyes, and I want to check, well, first, if she still has them, if the crows haven't got to them. Otherwise, I want to see what eye color she has.
Okay. As you look, there have been animals that have definitely got into this woman's face, and as you look to the other two, most of the eyes are missing. But this one, I will say, does have kind of half an eyeball left. And I will let you make an awareness notice to see if you can kind of discern any color from it. I think that it probably has that milky glassiness that you get in, dead eyes.
Sure.
You squint closer, and with a 13, I would say you would guess maybe blue, but it's difficult to tell because of the condition and just how much damage has been done to these bodies by fact of being here. But there's something unsettling as you look into that eye, and I'd like you to make a will roll, please. If you have courage bonus dice, you can apply those.
I do not.
Yep.
But it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. You feel a presence. It's a similar kind of strange sensation as when you sat with the sorceress in Bloodraven's room. That pulling inside of you like a string from your core, and then the push. It's a weird, like, lurchy feeling, but it dissipates really quickly, and it's as you're looking into this eye that you get this kind of pushy pull, smoky feeling. It's a strange sensation.
I kind of come to my senses and suddenly look around me just to check if anyone's around. And then give a little kind of bird's whistle to Adeline.
I think with that, she'll leave her like spot and just kind of like make her way to Jaime in the body. Oh, this is certainly more grisly than I was hoping for.
I don't think they are the wood switches that we were looking for. I think these might be their victims.
Can I make a... Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Can I... Okay, can I just see if any wounds on them? Any sign of, like, struggle on them?
Like a cause of death or something.
Yeah, like she's trying to figure out if it was violent, or was it, like, something that she wishes she kind of, like, had...
The bodies, I think the closest skill set is going to be to do with survival on this one. It's to do with hunting. Mm-hmm. It's a similar kind of, you know, if something's caught and been left in a snare for a long time, I think that's probably your closest thing. Or if you have healing, I will also apply healing.
Oh dear.
That's a skill.
Alright, nope. Survival it is.
Okay. 1? That's your dump?
That's my dump.
Nice.
12.
Okay, you look over this first body. It's been majorly disturbed by gravity and animals. There's a number of wounds that have been kind of pecked and bitten into it, and insects kind of ooze and fester in these spaces. It makes it very unpleasant to be near. And you look to the other ones. You see no injuries on these bodies beyond those that you suspect have been created by scavengers and creatures taking advantage of an easy meal suspended.
Mm-hmm. I think she'll take a good cursory look at them, and these still might be some of them. Maybe rites, sacrifice. Doesn't appear that there was anything that looks like there was a struggle. That's might honestly be worse than the other option.
Adeline, I'd like you to make a cunning memory test for me.
Okay. Do I have anything? Nope.
And Jaime, why don't you make an endurance test for me as well?
Oof, no, I do not.
Okay. Endurance 10. Alright. Jaime, you get that kind of side, like, temple pain as the alcohol cools you. This is a horrible situation. You really wish you had a drink. And it's really, really gross. It's that kind of nauseated pulling at you, but you control your stomach. And Adeline, as you look around the woods and you try and make sense of what you're seeing, it's just horrible. These 3 women, just torn apart by the wilds, just abandoned. No idea how they died. And that stone circle in the middle of it all. There's no sign that this was a bonfire pit and the circle was just to keep the fire in. It's unsettling and spooky.
This is bad.
sisters that we should seek out?
I wouldn't want to say yes, but it appears this is some of them. And considering the time that Tarla's been gone, we should find them as quickly as possible.
Charlie, can I have my truth now? You said you didn't count it earlier.
Yes.
There's a
Yes, you
cart
can have a
nearby.
truth.
It's a rickety wooden cart nearby on the track.
Okay, tell me more about this cart, Sam.
It's old and it's rickety, but it's going to get us and the bodies back to the hamlet.
Okay, just so I was understanding what you're doing. All right, and the truth I will add to this cart. As you approach it, you can see a number of scratch marks in the wood. And Jamie, you would suspect these were made by human hands. This is not the first time this cart will transport these three.
Fair. Okay. Oh, fuck it. The boy needs to learn at some point. So, Tim.
Sooner the better.
You call out.
Yeah.
And it takes a moment or two, but you can hear Tim approaching from where you left him with the horses. He kind of comes running up the rise and stands on that overhanging ledge. Yes, Sir Jamie!
Get the horses. Come here.
Yes, sir! About turn, runs back in the other way. And he'll come around with the horses. But as he's doing so, I need to make a roll, and I am going to use one of my bonus test dice to do this.
Good.
Where's my wallet? Sorry. I'm in the mood today. That's Garbo.
Oh.
Alright,
Good.
so,
Yeah.
good. It is good.
Good.
You hear Sir Tim approaching with your three horses. He's coming at relative speed, but he's careful as he comes across the stream. What catches both of your awarenesses is a crack from behind you, from beyond the ring of trees of this kind of circle clearing. On the other side, you hear a crack. And as you will turn to look, you see a man crouching low. In his hands is a sword. And Adeline, you recognize this man as the Master at Arms for House Gaunt.
Oh.
Hello?
Suppose it-
Consequences.
Yes. I think I think when she first heard that sound, she has her bow in her hand. She sees him. I suppose it was too true to have everyone believe. So what? Why are you here? Beside the obvious.
And
Where
you
are
notice
they?
he's
Where are
not.
the rest of them?
And you notice he's not crouched because he was sneaking up on you, but there is a huge wound on his side. There still remains a broken off arrow in it. And he comes forward with the sword in hand. There's no one else. It's just me. But I'm here because you owe House Gaunt a death. Adeline.
I
And
suppose I owe them many deaths. I suppose I owe you back for that.
Exactly. By my count, by my arithmetic, we have paid back your death. The death of Danella. Not Danella. Who was the person?
Della.
Della.
It's very close.
Della.
Same dude.
Oh,
Yeah, we've had this.
Thanks, Shauna. The lady Della. This isn't about her. Adeline Tremaine, Master of Arms to Master of Arms, I challenge you to a duel for the honor of our houses. And he's compressing that wound, but his eyes are pretty set, and he is gripping that sword.
She will kind of, in the other hand, like put her hand on the handle of her sword. I'm gonna do this. Answer me one question.
Are you feeling lucky? Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
What is this? You stop.
Disrupting my own game.
Did her family have the resolve to do it themselves, or did they have you do it?
I wasn't
Apparently,
there.
you weren't there.
I believe the Lady Della died at her husband's home.
Well,
He's
according
kind
to
of
Otto,
confused, like, why you're so into this thing, like, with Della. He's like, you just murdered one of the sons of the house. This is what I'm here about. What's Della got to do with any of that? And I think in his confusion, he takes this moment and he looks around and he now notices these bodies. He had no idea why you were in this clearing. And he now sees the woman kind of slumped down on the floor by Jaime and the two others suspended.
I understand your confusion, sir, but you have walked in on something that is bigger than yourself. Bigger than this feud. It starts with Danella and ends with the possible extinction of my lineage.
Makes sense why you bring her up now. And it's fear on his face. But he shakes his head, says, but it's not my business.
But it is ours.
Anymore.
And I'll look
I think
to
Adeline's
Adeline.
taken back by that thing. She said, she wasn't at... What husband? You must have known that she was being kept by her family.
I'm being followed by the stranger, and I'm here to defend House God's honor. I'm not here to have conversations about Lady Della. Let me do my duty. Do you have no
Again,
honor?
what husband? You must have known, being their master of arms, what happened to her. What happened to her?
She was sent to live with a lord by the sea. And he's like you can see he's sweating and he's trying to find the details, but he's not in a healthy way. And like details are difficult. It's not that he's trying to be necessarily abstracting of the truth or hiding anything. It's just he doesn't have answers because he's dying. She wasn't right, and she was married because of you. They had to get her away from you. She died at her husband's home by the sea. And he died in the field. They all died in the field. And he staggers a little, but his sword tip goes into the ground and he straightens up. You're a Targaryen. You know honor and duty.
I'm going to slowly walk up to him as he says that. As close as I can get. And I'll say, yes, I do. And then I want to thump him. I want to try and knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, make me a fighting test. Are you using a sword to do this, or are you just... boffing him.
No,
as hard as you can.
I want to knock him out. Is the idea?
Yeah, I was thinking like, are you using a sword hilt or are you using just a
No, just
as hard as you can?
punchy.
Punchy. All right.
A penalty dice, right, for my alcoholism.
Yep. You essentially have a wound right now because you haven't had anything to drink.
Can I get the drop on him for an extra like bonus dice thing? I don't know.
With an 11, that's enough to knock him out.
Okay, nice. So yeah, I walk up to him. Yes, I do know honor, and then just lamp him. So he falls
essentially,
to the
all you had to
floor.
do was hit this guy, and he was going to go down. He is very not healthy.
Nice.
Mhm.
All right. And then I will grab whatever I can, a little bit of rope out of the saddlebags. I don't know, the lace of a doublet or a shoe, and I'll bind this guy's hands and feet. Unless, Shauna, I mean, unless you want to stop me.
No, I think she. That's good. That's good because I think she's a little taken aback by what he was saying. Like I think she probably would have shot him, but she was distracted enough by that line that wasn't what she was expecting to hear. And so I think while you do this, she has like this stare that just kind of goes behind you, like she's been stunned, like she's.
Come help me.
What?
We're getting back on the cart. We're getting back to the hamlet. We'll try and help him, and then we can get some better answers out of him when he's more lucid.
What the hell was that? What the hell was?
I don't know.
That maester said.
Just...
They said that she was dead. That she was held in her home. There's nothing about a marriage. The hell was that? Of anyone, he should know.
It could be the same thing. It could be the same thing. He could be speaking the truth. So could the maester. She could have been held effective a prisoner at home with a husband.
Well then, before he succumbs, let's get him back. We need to talk to him.
To get him back, get someone to help him, to help us, to heal him, so that we can get some better answers out of him.
Is he a bandit?
No, Tim, he's not a bandit. This is the Master of Arms of House Gaunt.
An enemy.
Now,
Yes.
He's got the 3 horses and he's arrived and literally there's a guy now on the floor. There's a dead woman. He's very confused.
We need to question him. Now help us get these bodies in so we can head back.
just try to hold your breath, Tim.
Good job capturing the spy.
What?
Good job capturing the spy.
Capture the spy? No, this isn't the spy. Just get the bodies onto the cart with us and this man.
He will manage to fix one of the horses to the cart so the horse can pull it.
Yeah.
And he'll use his horse, which is kind of the more practical horse for this out of the ones you have. And it's going to be relatively slow progress because it's a laden cart and you've got to get it out of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
But as you do so, is there anything else you'd like to do before you leave this space?
Are we at any risk of this guy who I should definitely know the name of? Maybe I'll roll a memory check or some shit. I don't know. But of him dying. Like, I don't want him to die. I guess I've made that clear.
Yeah, I don't want.
I don't want him to die. I want to question him later. I want to make sure that he doesn't just die in the cart, please.
You can make a healing test.
Good.
Oh, I can maybe do a healing test.
Can I assist and let? Can I assist? I have one. I don't know. Just if she even just says, "Just hold this here," I'm like, fine. But if we work together, maybe we can make it work. Because I have a 1 in healing because it's my dump.
Yeah,
please.
I put people in this situation. I don't necessarily heal people from this situation.
And you have dice. I don't have any dice in my frame anymore.
Yeah.
I tell you what, this is the deal I will make. I will donate one of my dice.
Oh no!
Oh, I just had a lag spike. I'll donate one of my dice to Shauna's roll, but there will be an additional complication, not to the guy's health, but to your situation.
Oh shit!
Or you
Shauna,
can
it's
just
your call.
Yes, we're in it.
All right.
Because I think with a 1, you can't really assist, Sam. You are less than commonly good at this.
I'd like to just say, I won't roleplay it out. I'd like to just say that I try and start helping, and then maybe Anna's just like, no, it's fine.
It's like, oh, you're getting
You start
maybe
like trying to pull the arrow out, thinking that's gonna help.
And then blood.
Yeah, blood.
It's like, oh,
no.
All right, Shauna, are you taking Devil's Bargain, or are you rolling on your own?
Yeah, let's double bargain this. Sure.
All right, I'm gonna update my little dice collection. I've used 1 for his roll and 1 for this, so I am down to 2.
We'll keep this with this is a complication. This is... Okay. My bonus die, come on. You know what? I'll use one of mine too. I need this guy alive. I don't want to like mess this up. My healing is. So let's use one of mine as well. This is curious.
Come on.
Wait, what the hell?
Wait,
that's...
Every player just leant forward to check that then.
No,
wait,
that's
okay,
two
there's
bonus
4.
dice.
That's 8.
That's,
8,
yeah.
yeah.
That's 8. Yeah.
8.
Okay.
Still not great.
I still needed it. I still needed that dice, so hey.
It's not.
Alright, with
Cool.
this healing, you know he's very dying. And it's a matter of time, essentially. It's going to take a miracle to get this guy healthy ever again, to keep him alive. But, Shauna, you are a master of arms yourself. You know that if he's going to have any chance, you've got to get him to the village as quickly as possible. But you know that the cart doesn't have to have Jaime on it because Jaime has his own horse. I will give you that information. So if Jaime wants to stay and investigate, you can. But this guy needs to be on the move. So it's up to you what you do.
Oh.
You don't make him any worse.
We can double up on horses, and one of us can just peg it to the village. Like
we have
strap
3
him
horses
to
between
the
you.
back of one of us. Yeah. Would you go?
I can put.
Would you like me to go?
I should probably go. His wounds. He'll succumb to these wounds. It's a matter of time, and I know the most about this, and I need him to answer these questions. Are you okay?
Of course.
This is...
Tim, get a blanket out and cover these in case anyone comes by, honestly.
Oh, right. He looks around, realizes there isn't a lot, so he takes the spare cloak he's got and just uses that to cover their modesty.
Fine. Not my cloak, not my problem.
No, he's wearing your cloak. He's very proud of it. It's a gift.
Oh, okay. Sure.
You gave him a spare one that you had from your, travel pack.
Oh, probably. Sure. I don't remember.
Because you were like, what you're wearing is not good enough for what we're going to do.
Oh, right. Yeah. You're going to need some... Yeah, I remember.
So it's not your personal cloak, but it's a cloak that you did give him.
God damn it. Okay.
That he is wearing and clinging to. Alright, so bodies are kind of covered, and Tim is doing his best to get them onto the cart. They are kind of difficult to move. And there are still 2 that are suspended that have not been cut down.
Oh, I was going to cut down the
Oh,
everyone.
I think you're going to cut them down.
And
Okay.
bring everyone to the village. Yeah.
So
My intention is to do a kind of a loud parade of like, "Hey, I'm this guy. What the fuck is this?" kind of thing.
Witches, they're very bad.
Bringing back your dead. Yeah.
Bringing back your dead. Bringing bodies back. Okay, so Adeline, you load up this guy onto your horse with you, and you can set out ahead of the cart. Tim will do the work of loading up these bodies onto the cart. He's not super squeamish, luckily. He's not super keen, but he does what he can. He gets them on there, and the cloak covers as much of the mass as he can kind of angle it to. And he will kind of walk beside the cart when it's ready to go, but he will wait for Jaime, kind of give the order on what he's meant to do. Jaime, anything you'd like to do before you leave?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We've got what
Wait,
we can.
ooh, there was a stone circle, right?
There was. In the middle.
Ooh. I think before Adeline leaves, like, check there. Might be something under there.
Right. Then I'll go scrabbling around in the crazy dirt.
And the player remembers what the GM was trying to give Adeline earlier. Okay, cool. Adeline, you set off, you cut through the woods. You're used to riding through woods. These aren't familiar to you, but you can make good progress, and I'm not going to make you make a check for it right now.
This is
Jaime,
probably not the
you
first time.
dig,
Did you
Yeah,
bring an injured man?
you dig through the dirt, and you're about to give up when your fingers find a different texture, away from that muddiness from the leaflet. It's a different texture. It's something smooth. And you push back and you find a small scroll in a little case.
Nice. Well, I will open
And
it
you
up.
will recall that Adeline told you when she was summoned by Della out to the woods that first time she got a note that in the middle of a stone circle she found a letter. You open up the roll and it says, in Valyrian, the dragon must fly faster. More will die, but not so many as if the mother is born. Oh, sorry, and not so many if the mother is born.
Yeah.
Not so many. Anyway, it implies if the mother's born, more are going to die.
I got it.
I will go and read
Yeah,
my
yeah.
sentence.
No, I
Yeah.
got it. That was it. Yeah.
Cool.
This is. No.
Yeah. I'm getting more of that weird eye vibe from earlier. Just like,
We're in some.
I might
stuff.
even try heave. Yeah.
Dry heave.
Let's just get everything that's getting to him at this point. Yeah.
And it feels as if this letter is specifically like, it's calling you out. It's saying you gotta be quicker than this. Right?
Yeah.
At least that's how you could interpret it.
That's how I did interpret it.
Oh.
They know.
They know. This is waist deep in occult stuff. Not great.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Well,
Sure.
With our 3 bodies, our cart, and everything, we'll head back.
poor Tim.
What's him? I think he's smart enough to know this is really like a bad time and he's not going to ask you what you found, even though you probably would want to know. He's just not going to ask. This is messed up. It's really messed up. Shauna, Adeline racing towards the village. Is there anything you do on the way? You're going to kill this guy and just dump his body and tell Jaime that you did it? What are you going to do?
I mean, that was before he said some stuff contradicting what I've heard from Otto, so she wants answers from. I mean, honestly, I don't think she wants. She'll get her answers, and then he's done. She had no intention of saving him permanently. She wants answers.
All right, so you get him back to the village. He kind of mutters and mumbles, mostly about honor. The feeling you get is he didn't want to just die of this wound, right? He wanted a chance to, if he's going to die anyway, to take you out as well, to defend his house. Because he feels he failed, right? One of the sons died on their lands, and that's on him. And he doesn't like you very much. He has some very choice words. But it's mostly muttering and mumbles.
Do I remember this man from when I was caught with Della? Trying to sneak out.
I think this is a different Master of Arms from that time. Because that was, like 9 years ago, right? It was like a long time ago. I forget how many years exactly.
20.
I think this is actually a different Master at Arms. It's probable that he knows what happened, but this isn't one of those men that was involved in separating you.
All right. But I think she's also going to be a little bit more on edge. There's a little bit of paranoia in there, because even if he didn't know, they might have sent people to, people might want to look after him, except getting trailed by anymore. Because if he can find us, some of them can find us.
You get back to the village. It's about 4 or 5 huts. It's a hamlet, really. But you know who's essentially the leader, and that they're as likely as anyone to have some sort of healing knowledge that might help you. But mostly, they're going to load him up on booze and just try and make him comfortable. There's very little they can really do. Maybe a poultice will be applied. They're not going to tell you they can't do anything, but there's very little they can do in it.
I think maybe she saw the wounds, like, this is... She just needs him awake. Yeah. Barring what she needs to know, doesn't matter.
Okay. So you give them the order to get him awake. They are reluctant, but I will let you make a roll to convince them. You can use Intimidate. You can use kind of some sort of status if you'd like. Your nobility, they will do what you tell them to do.
Oh.
What would you like to do?
Yeah, I think maybe she'll pull the nobility card on them. They're more. She's done this before, but they're more apt to listen if some highborn bosses them around.
All right, so let's roll status with Intimidate bonus, Shauna.
All right, cool. This is nice. Okay. $11.
You succeed. So you give them the order. There's a glance. There's a nod. Something foul-smelling is brought out and waved beneath the man's nose. Cold water is applied until he rouses. So you have no honor then?
I don't think my honor matters at this moment. I asked you questions. I intend to get them from you.
Ask quick. I can hear the stranger's step.
What do you know about what happened to Della?
You broke her mind. She was sent to live in a house by the sea with a new husband, and she died. And no one talks about Della.
She'll grab him by his collar. It's like, get real close. Surely you must know the house. It's not just some random house. You would know what that house was.
Why do you care?
Because I loved her. And I will find out what happened to her. If what that Maester told me was true, or what you said is true. This matters mostly not just to you, but the lives of your charges. The remaining sons and your master. If you do not tell me, your honor will be 3 times tarnished. Because you saved none of
If
them.
I do not answer, maybe it would prove worthy vengeance. Because you took something we loved, and I can take what is little left for you to love.
Think quick. Make your decision.
He laughs and there's a bubbly sound in the back of his throat as he realizes he has something that you want, and you didn't do him the honor of having the jewel, and he's like, no, she's scum. And I can torture her until I die. And I'm kind of alright with it. That's the general impression you get as he laughs, and there's this kind of sick sound to it.
Well, I gave you the chance to save them. Save Wendell. The rest. But with you being uncooperative like this, House Gaunt will not have a successor. It will be some third-born cousin. If I can take them out, if I can take one out, be damn sure for my life I will take them all.
Make a roll, Shauna, and I'm going to give you 2 bonus dice as you come in with a massive threat. Choose your action from the cheat sheet, what you think is closest. This is
Okay.
really big intimidation feels to me.
This is very much intimidation feels. Oh.
Probably more intimidation, I would say, though.
This is 100% intimidation. She is. Okay, and that's intimidate technique. That's specialty. So it's just the it's persuasion, intimidate, correct?
Correct. Unless you're lying, unless you have no intention
of
hunting down the family. All right, cool. I just got to check.
Intention. Yep. She is never.
All right. I need to get Roll20 working so I can roll without everyone seeing what I type in.
I'm gonna use one of my dice. I need confirmation of this.
Right.
Okay, so it's persuasion with intimidate.
What is your passive awareness, by the way, Shauna? For no reason whatsoever.
It's to the left of this number, right? The big number. It's a little number on the sheet.
3 times your rank. 4 times your rank, I think.
16.
16? Alright, good to know. Carry on, as you were.
Okay. Then an extra d6. Another d6. 9.
9 total?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. He mathematically can't do what I was going to make him do. So, as you finish threatening him, you see a glassiness to his eyes, but you notice it's because he's busy focusing elsewhere, and in his hand is a dagger, and he is bringing it up to shank you in the stomach. He tried to do this sneakily, as you were basically telling him you're going to murder every single one of his family, or the family he's sworn to. And so this knife comes up, but you have a chance to react because you notice the movement.
Okay. Cheat sheet.
So you could essentially do a dodge action to avoid the strike.
What is my combat? What is my combat?
So I think dodge is a agility quickness test.
You know what? Agility, quickness. Sure, I'll dodge. Let's do it. Oh, I actually do have. I have dice and quickness. Cool. 15.
Very good. The blade comes out, and you twist to the side out of its reach. The hand kind of falls limp. It's still grasping that blade, and he looks at you. Always hungry. And he laughs. And the grip slowly releases, and he is passing out and about to die.
Damn it! She'll like slam the door. Then they all die then.
The town's small folk look afraid, but they've slowly been pulling to the outer limits of this hut, and one of them has stepped outside. They didn't want to be witness to a murder, and they could kind of see what was coming. So they've stepped out, but the leader of the hamlet has remained, and he's cleaning up a bowl. What should I do with the body then?
Dump it.
As you like.
Actually, let me examine it first, and then just dump it.
I'll wait outside. Just let me know when you're done.
Thank you.
They step out. What would you like to examine the body for, Shauna?
If he's carrying anything. Missives from the gods. I also don't have any clue what happened at Famine's Hold, so maybe some orders. What happened back at home.
Alright, so it's not going to cost you anything to do the search. He's a dead guy and no one's stopping you and you're not in any rush. You search him, and basically he is in his guarding gear, lighter armor than normal. He has your arrow in the side of him, in addition to another wound that you had given him the previous day. And you get the impression that this guy has essentially been riding since you shot him. He isn't carrying any letters or anything. He does bear the house seal on a it's carved into a wooden circle, which he wears on a chain around his neck. And it's the 3 lances on diagonal. And on the back, the house words, "We prepare the charge." He has within the dagger that's easy to find, and it's small scabbard at its side. It's kind of an all-purpose knife, really. And some simple coinage. There's nothing particularly special. You search his boots. You search everywhere that you would have hidden something, and there's There's nothing special here. It's just a man's day-to-day items for his job. And a lot of blood.
Then I'll just take the house gaunt symbol. There's nothing else here. And then she'll go out the door. She'll slam it. She's still pretty angry. It's done. Do what you wish with
The
it.
small folk have kind of...
There's some good armor on
away.
it. Those boots can... Feel free to take those. The body, just...
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you do with beggars, whatever you do with it, just dump it.
As you like. The small folk are mostly melted away. It's only the leader that you actually find outside. Everyone else seems to have conveniently disappeared. Probably given a nod and a point and an eye. And I'm going to say about an hour later, Jaime and the cart and Sir Tim and the bodies will kind of pull up into the hamlet. I can't remember how long ago I told you how far away this village was, but we'll just say it takes you like an hour-ish to get back here. Whatever. Not important.
Yeah. I think you find Adeline, like, I don't think she's gonna stay like in the square because she's in a mood. So she's gonna be at by the road just outside. Just looks distant. Moment.
Did you get answers?
No, he chose to withhold. And I denied him the honorable death he wished, so I guess that makes us even then.
There is that. I'm sorry.
Well, that kept him alive for a few minutes longer. I certainly wasn't going to engage in swords with him. Would have been dead right there. But that's a different story than I was told.
As I said, it can be both.
No. Either way, they seem to blame me for her condition. And regardless, she's dead. So, this doesn't change anything. I guess. We should get these looked at.
And I'll call out for the elder, alderman, whoever it is.
What have you found?
It's not pretty, but come take a look. And he slowly, it kind of I think just lifts up the cloak just to show him.
That man did this.
No. I think these woods witches you told us about perhaps did it. Are you missing anyone?
Not that I'm aware of. There's only a handful of us here. I'd probably notice.
So from a town nearby, market town, the village of the Holdfast?
Nearest place would be probably near the Brax's Hold.
Braxes.
Should I send word to the Lannisters or someone?
No, I think the Lannisters are far too far out for us to bother them with this. No, this is fine. The Crown will take care of it.
Are you someone I should know?
I am Jaehaerys.
You're not the king, are you?
I am Jaehaerys Waters, otherwise known as the Bywater Bastard. Bastard son of Aegon IV. The unworthy one.
He was the king with a lot of children.
And I am one of those lot of children, yes.
Your Highness.
Please remain standing. Is there somewhere that we might sleep? A roof to, or a shed roof to put over the heads of these 3 departed women?
We burn bodies, Your Highness.
These bodies are not for burning. These bodies are someone's family, but they're also important to us and to what we're seeking.
There's a nervousness at the idea of bringing dead people into a house for this person. That is the real stopping point for them. And they're looking around the village almost as if, all right, who do I hate the most? whose house am I going to make these bodies go into? It's
no sheds, no sties. I mean, no lean-tos. Just something to keep the animals away, kind of.
This is kind of like a trapping hunting village. There's not massive agricultural buildings here as such, like stables and stuff.
Okay.
Why don't you make a, let's do, you've done a name drop. Let's do status persuasion.
Or
status reputation.
With
a convince, if you'd like. Or you could do.
So
yeah.
I probably don't. Well, I mean, this guy's a small folk, so status 1 or status 2. I have this cool thing, right, where Blood of Valyria, for simple intrigues like this, my status would be considered 1 above what it actually is.
Right. Okay. So this guy is probably like within the context of the village a 2.
Okay.
Only because he's the leader.
All right. But that status bump, I think, has to be. Yeah. Okay. So I can't just kind of quick talk him, I guess. Yeah. But status reputation.
Yeah.
10.
Cool. He looks around and he points to one of the huts. It's one of the smallest ones of this area. Kind of that half stucco wall, half like reed kind of situations with a thatchy roof. And he'll nod to that. You can put the bodies in that one, and you're welcome to my home. For yourselves.
Thank you.
And he's trying to decide where he's going to put the horses, because he's now realizing you also have 3 horses. And we'll put something up. Keep your horses dry.
Just something to tie them to be honest, will be fine. And Tim can see to that. He's my squire. Please use him as you would.
As you like. And the other body, The woman said to dispose of it.
Oh, yes, you can burn that one. That's fine.
Unusual woman.
Exceptional.
None of my business. And they'll go off to kind of go and tell their neighbor that they are not sleeping in their house tonight because bodies are going in it. And not to argue, because there's a Targaryen around. Sam, I would like you to make a cunning memory test or a knowledge heraldry test type thing. I think heraldry is the thing. I think it's one of the knowledge ones.
16.
Alright, so the dude mentioned the Braxes. That is a purple unicorn kind of rearing up on a grey field.
Okay.
It's a house in the Westerlands.
Cool.
Kind of near the Trident and the Red Fork. The Trident and the Tumblestone, sorry. Near the Red Fork.
We are.
Pink what? Pink horse? Pink unicorn?
Yep. Purple unicorn.
Purple.
Mm-hmm. It's BRAX. Brax.
Cool. Greyfield.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I think it's either grey or it might be white. I can't tell. There's shading on it. Could be white.
Fine.
I haven't got a description.
White,
oh wait,
silver.
silver. There we go. Yep.
Yeah,
Purple
silver
unicorn on
field.
silver. Fancy. Alright, cool.
Oh,
That's the
well,
Braxes.
and we'll head there in the morning.
Alright. Is there anything else you would like to do this evening? You find yourself in this small hut. It's very base. There's kind of straw mattresses in one corner, which get changed when they can get enough materials to do so. You imagine this one's probably stuffed with ferns, dried bracken, things of that nature, things easy to acquire here. And there's a bench which has been kind of crudely put together, but is sturdy, and on this bench there's a number of dried foods and a pot, which you highly suspect is ale or beer.
Ooh.
Dear God, please, please, please be some ale.
Would you like to drink it, Jamie?
Yes.
Make an endurance test.
Oh no.
Don't give a shit.
It is here.
9.
It tastes disgusting. You have no idea what this is. It might be vaguely alcoholic, but it just tastes really disgusting to you.
Right. No word of a lie. I've seen someone do something similar when they've really needed a drink, which is just substituted for something else that kind of gives them just a little kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to think this is it for him. Like, it's probably not alcoholic. It's probably some disgusting fucking stew. But up here, it's making sense, so it's fine. I'll just drink the
It's certainly
slightly
brown water.
spicy.
Yep.
Beer, definitely.
Yep,
beer.
it'll do. Yep. And you drink it down. And we'll find
Yeah,
out how that affects you. Or...
We'll see.
Good.
You're welcome to have mine as well. I don't have a taste for it.
You're what?
She'll like look at the ale. Like, was there more than one ale, or was it one?
So it was essentially like one giant jug, and then very simple cups. And they just make it
Okay. Hold on now.
It's kind of one of those like pouring carafes, I guess, but it's crude and basic.
Well, then I think she'll just like, good.
Yep. All right.
It's probably like a.
And
then pours more and it drinks more.
Just keeps going. And is there anything you want? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
I think she'll just ask, like, did you find anything?
Yes, and he hands her the little scroll.
It's a different handwriting in this one. Or it's the same handwriting?
Do a cunning decipher.
Oh boy.
And then we will be wrapping up very soon. I have one last tiny thing to do with these players. And Apocalypse, I've made a note of the outstanding Banes. They will be coming. Do not fear. They keep doing horrible things to themselves, and there's little for me to do. So.
Yeah, right? You could just say that that was the Bane. Yeah.
That was the Bane. No. All right. No, I've got ideas for these Banes. They're coming. And it's one each for Jaime and Adeline by my count. So those will be cooking. All right. Adeline, it could be Della's. You don't know. There's nothing like markedly, this is 100% not Della's, this is 100% Della's. It's just a note. It's been a long day. You could be convincing yourself it's Della's, you know? When you're looking for something, you're like, is it? Is it?
Yeah, I think she's I think now there's certain doubts in her mind. Well, this is concerning, certainly. I know we're coming.
What perhaps worries me more is that they might have known that we were coming to meet them here. To have such foresight, and he steals himself from kind of what he was about to say and also what he's thinking in terms of that prescience.
I think she'll not. Well, that would be one of the ways. Like, I can't think of any. But those bodies, everything that's going on, it'd be best to get the rest and be in good condition, because we are probably gonna need it. And make sure that your squire is up to the task as well. I'm fine with us walking into this, but does he know how to fight?
Oh no, Tim's fucked. But I don't really know what to do at this point.
Well, I guess keep him out of danger as much as we can.
Who's that?
It's the boy.
But I think I meant what I said when I said he could not go home anymore. If we're to keep your death a secret.
Yes. Suppose if a missing peasant, one of ours, just appears, would be suspicious, I guess. Certainly don't want the rest of the gods to come here, because it would make our investigation much tougher. First this, then worry about that later.
Still, let's try and get some sleep on these fucking pig beds. What is this? So he looks down at whatever kind of straw is strewn about the floor.
Well, it's certainly better than outside. Bed's a bed.
Marginally.
Oh, not used to the, without the comforts of Targaryan status.
I don't know, if we could go pluck a goose or 50, perhaps we could have a decent night's sleep.
Well, certainly be tired enough to have a good sleep after dealing with that many geese, so. Good rest then.
Yes.
Alright. And the night is a difficult one to sleep. It's not super comfortable. You both have a lot in your brains to deal with. And Jaime, every now and again, as you drift off towards sleep, you're convinced this would go so much better if you had some wine. And then as that thought passes on, you feel that strange lurching feeling, the pull and the push. But it's always just for a second. That strange feeling of falling asleep and jumping awake almost. But it's a backwards and forwards feeling. Astor. Plans are in progress. You set up the house as best you can for your brief visit to King's Landing. You have business to attend to with the Gaunt.
Interject one little thing that I didn't mention that might be good to plan. Also, to use this boon that I got in the beginning that I didn't get to. So let's prove that useful. When we went looking for Tarla first in the walls, Astor started drafting a map of all the tunnels and everything. Then afterwards, when he went looking for Adeline, there were tunnels that he still didn't know. And then I think there have been popping out some exits outside of the keep here and there. While he waits for the man that met with Darla to arrive and for Diffin to arrive, he probably would lock himself in his study and try and map those out from memory as best as he can. And,
Very cool, yeah, make me that cunning memory to craft a map. I love that.
Yeah,
great idea.
Hopefully give it to Garen so he can plan any sort of defense of the keep, keeping that in mind. So you said it was +1 keep or +1 bonus for the cunning memory test in the beginning? I don't remember.
+1 keep.
Out of these 6s then?
All the d6s.
Yep, it's a 26.
Very nice. Were none of those bonus dice?
No, because I have eidetic memory, so my bonus memory dice count as keep.
Very nice. Very nice use of a benefit. Cool. All right, so Astor sits at this desk, and you first start with that outline of the keep. Everyone knows the outline of that keep. It's very simple. You then begin to add in little lines. You fetch yourself some different colored inks from the maesters to mark different kinds of passages. You're making this map elaborate but clear. This is a blueprint that can be used. And you can make your own notes on what you remember needs to be repaired, what you think could be, blocked up, what you'd like to keep, in fact, as a passage for use. You can make notes of all of those things, and your brain even logics out in a few places where you're not sure, like this has to be how this connects, because otherwise this would fall down and that kind of thing. So you make a perfect map. There may be 1 or 2 passages that you don't know of that isn't on this map, but you don't know of them. Everything else is here, and you've filled in some gaps with that 26. That's an amazing roll. And the map is made.
Perfect. That was it. Carry
Turns
on.
out Astor is good at something.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you've given this to Garen, and the arrangement has been made that he is likely to be in charge of running Famine's Hold in your absence. Dealing with the small folk where necessary, making sure it's protected, keeping gaunt guards, best behavior type deal, making sure that no war breaks out in the meantime, so on and so forth. But you get a hold of Diffin Valerian, who kind of comes in after the day is done. He has been notably absent. It's almost as if he was avoiding you, is the feeling. But you get a knock on your chamber door as you've just finished. The ink is still drying on this map. The candle flickers. It's growing quite late in the day, so you're probably going to leave tomorrow for King's Landing at this point. So much has had to be taken care of. And riding at night is pointless. So, knocks on the door. And you call him in?
Yeah, come in.
My lord.
Sir Diffin?
Happy Namesday.
Why, thank you. It's almost over. Where have you been? Almost as if you were avoiding me. I went looking for you in the morning.
I went out on a ride. Everything was very busy here, and I didn't want to get in your way.
Ah. Oh, that's a shame. You missed quite the day.
I then spent some time down with the ravens. I sent a letter to my lord father,
Oh?
as we discussed. My intention to wed your sister when she returns.
Okay. Good to know.
There was also another letter that arrived.
Yes?
From Bastian Will, my lord. And he offers you out this letter.
Take it. Open it up.
It's a short, hastily written note. And I haven't pre-written it, but I know my brain what it says. And I will add it to the word amble. But essentially it says, "My lord, I am going to accompany your sister to Storm's End. It's a treacherous place, and I will be watching over her. On behalf of my cousin and I, we wish you well."
Okay. This is problematic, or maybe not. Depends on what happens. Thank you for bringing this to me, Diffin. If you don't mind...
Without a maester, there's no one to watch after your birds.
Yes, I should. I should remember to check it more often, actually. You're right. Listen, when you went down to speak to Sir Wendell, I hope you kept your word, yes?
I think Sir Wendell rather put together the truth of the matter himself, my lord.
Yes, but it's a different thing, him deducing it, than having confirmation from yourself. You do understand that, right?
I do.
But your face tells me that you didn't?
We came to
You're
an
just
agreement.
now realizing it? Ah. What agreement was this?
He will step aside in the matter of the marriage to Tarla. And we will all resolve the disagreements between your families.
He'll step aside. And you believed him?
Yes.
Okay. What if I told you that one of his own, one of his people, his family, was part of the conspiracy to have you killed, Diffin? And they hid that fact and told no one and kept that secret. Do you think Sir Wendell is still a trustworthy person now?
I thought the Gaunts weren't responsible for the poisoning.
No, they weren't, but they had more information that they weren't willing to share. That could have unveiled this conspiracy long ago, and yet they kept it for themselves. Look, I know I'm young, but I've been through a lot different, probably more than you. And with age and experience, you'll learn that not everything is what it seems. People lie. I try not to, but sometimes it's necessary. But most people lie. Your father lies. The court lies. My brother lies. Allegra lies.
What is your point, sir? You seem to be mocking me.
I am not. I want you to realize that people will lie to you your entire life. And the word from Sir Wendell means nothing. In whatever arrangement you have with him, he'll make sure that you come out losing. And you know who'll come out losing if
I
you have
think,
said arrangement?
my lord,
Us.
Astor, that you overlook certain details. Lady Adeline has no value to you alive. Her actions were dishonorable. May I finish, your lord? Thank you. A marriage to my house is highly beneficial to you. The Gaunts have no interest in it. Whether he meant it or not, he will step aside. I will be the lord of 2 castles. The Isle of Driftmark. I am a Targaryen cousin. I may be but a small dragon, but I am a dragon. He had already figured out that you had somehow smuggled the Lady Adeline away. He does not know what direction. He is preoccupied with his house's reputation. I think he will be placated enough by whatever it is you are doing on your journey to King's Landing. Should the Lady Adeline return, you would have to kill her regardless. Otherwise, you would be a proven liar. And whilst, yes, all lords do lie, smart lords don't let evidence wander back to prove it. I want us to be friends, my Lord Astor. And whilst people do think of you as but a young lord, so people think of me as a bullied and weak one, because I have made some mistakes. But when my Lord Father passes to the sea, it will be I, who is the Lord of Driftmark. You understand, my lord?
I understand but one thing. And that thing is that you and your words were never truly preoccupied with House Tremaine and with Tarla, because you would know that the only reason Adeline is out there alive is to fetch Tarla, because there is no one else around the entirety of the Crownlands, possibly the entirety of Westeros, capable and available to find Tarla and bring her back more than Adeline is. And that is why she's on the loose. Sir Diffin. If she ever comes back... Oof, okay. Charlie! I'm going to use one of my keep dice.
Do it. You can use as many as you like in one go, by the way. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Okay. I think... I'm going to use both.
Okay. Had a feeling.
Yeah. So how do I do this? Because I need to modify the roll.
The fucking shade, by the way. Fucking shade.
Did you hear that Westerosi bus coming for everyone? Just
Okay, wait, so I'm just gonna roll normal and then add 2 more.
Okay. What you can do for the future is if you just increase your rank temporarily by however many death dice you're adding.
That's
how you can do
smart. Yeah. Okay, so it
So what's your
is
total now?
plus 5 plus 6, so 24 total.
Oh, very good. All right. Because we are a little bit over time and I want to wrap, but I wanted to get this conversation done. What is your goal? What do you want him to do or to think as you convince him?
So I want him to think that everything that has been done by House Tremaine was literally beneficial to him as well. It was the only way to recover Tarla, and if he gives it away now, then it's done, because they'll probably hunt Adeline until exhaustion, and Tarla will never be back. And if by any chance she comes back, then Lord Wendell will claim her because he found her or something like that.
Finders keepers.
Yeah, something.
That famous Westerosi rule.
I mean, aggravated by the fact that he also trying to hint that he was also what I said before, involved somewhat in a conspiracy to kill him. Yeah.
Okay. And with this being the thoughts that go into his brain, what action would you like him to take? Is it an immediate thing he can do for you as part of this? Muted.
How did that happen? I didn't even click my mouse. Just stay here. Don't go to King's Landing and don't babble in front of the court, because that's gonna go bad for me.
All right, so he doesn't seem very happy with the conversation that's been had, but he is persuaded that to let Adeline do what she's got to do, essentially, and not to further involve himself at this point.
Mm-hmm.
My father and my cousin are to go to Tyrosh. It had been my intention to return to Driftmark after the business of King's Landing. But given your faith in the Huntress of the Crown Hills, I shall wait here, my lord. But I shall also be employing someone else to look for the Lady Tarla. I am not equipped to perform such a search. Westeros is wide. But I'm sure I can pay a man who is capable. And Tarla's safety is the most important thing.
On that we can agree, Sir Diffin. And the more the merrier, the quicker we find her, the quicker this mess is resolved, and we can deal with what's next. Hopefully having heard from your father by then.
He reaches into his pocket and he pulls out another slip of paper and he hands it to you. And on this sheet of paper are written the words, "The old, the true, the brave," which are the words of House Velaryon. And it is signed by Diffin. And he explains to you that you can use this with any of his housemen and they will do as you say. Essentially, he's giving you a free order of his resources within King's Landing. He had a feeling you weren't going to let him go to King's Landing.
Smart. I thank you. This will come in handy, I'm sure.
All right. And with that, we shall end today's session. Astor, we will catch up with next time in King's Landing. Jaime and Adeline we will find on the road with the Braxes, and we will rejoin Allegra and Danella as they flee Storm's End and head north. Home? Question mark. Maybe. We'll see. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all to the cast and crew for hanging out today. I had a lot of fun role-playing and getting back into these characters after our 2 special episodes, doing other things in other places. Speaking of other things in other places, let's go around, say hello and goodbye to the cast and crew and find out what they're all up to. I'm going to go counterclockwise this time, opposite way around, and we're going to begin with the wonderful Sam, aka the Bywater Bastards, aka Generis Waters, aka Jamie. Yeah,
Generic
Daenerys.
Targaryen.
Generic Targaryen.
Oh, ouch!
Yeah, I had a lot of fun today. Thank you so much for the weirdness and you got a bit oof, but I loved it. It's not quite what I expect from my Game of Thrones game, but I'm enjoying that we get to explore this kind of little part of the genre, the kind of weirdness, the spoopiness. It's cool. Enjoying it. If we're launching into it, so I'm Sam. I am the head of product at Modiphius Entertainment. So please check us out. We make all sorts of games, from Star Trek, Dishonored, IPs, role-playing games, tabletop, board games, all that kind of stuff, as well as Fallout and Elder Scrolls war games. And then I'm also one part of Black Cats Gaming. It's a little indie RPG publisher that we've started up with a couple of colleagues. And we are in the throes of finishing off our Kickstarter for The Spy Game, which is a 5e powered international, a game of international espionage and action and all sorts of cool spy stuff like that. So if you like James Bond, Ethan Hunt's, all these kind of people, if you want to be them, you can. You can play it with a very familiar rule set. So check us out around the world at blackcatsgaming.com, at follow Black Cats here on the Twitch and on the Twitters as well, where you can find lots of links to the game itself and to our late pledge and the quick starts available for free on DriveThruRPG as well. That's me. Yeah, I mostly do this and work on... Well, there is the sister campaign to this, obviously, After the Fire, which I should mention, of course, which I GM and Charlie plays. And we are online with that every Thursday, same time as this, 8 p.m. UK or 3 p.m. Eastern, over at Follow Black Cats on Twitch. So check us out.
And we will be hosting that, and if you like that show as well, you can join the channel on the Discord, and we talk about both campaigns in our channel and kind of both campaigns in the other Discord. So there's a lot of Fireverse conversation going on. A lot of Fireverse
is going to be a thing.
Yeah. I made a super Padlet. We're in it now.
Yeah,
That's it. Speaking of in it and a lot of conversation today, how is being head of house going for you, Nuno? And where can we find you?
Oh no, I have no idea what you said there, Charlie, because you cut off from me. But I'm gonna steal it from you anyway. Today was a very interesting game. Somehow, Astor just keeps digging the hole deeper and deeper, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I am very worried to see what's going to happen next episode, especially in King's Landing, where he's going to be way out of his league. It's going to be fun. So next week, and stay here as well to see how that goes. Apart from that, I am Nuno. You can find me online where you find people online at JNunuTex. That's TEX in the end. And I play here, Crownlands, on Mondays, and then half an hour after we finish, actually just in 10 minutes because we ran a bit late, I play a Quest RPG campaign. We are on our episode 3. The reception for the campaign has been wonderful, much more than our previous seasons. Everyone's enjoying it quite a lot. It's a wonderful system, wonderful people. So if you want to go and watch another stream after this, and if you like Quest, or if you're curious about how Quest works, go and tune in 8 minutes. I won't be playing today, but my wonderful castmates will be there representing. So there's that. Over on the Twitch of the Chromatic Chimera, so twitch.tv/Chromatic Chimera.
It's 8 minutes. I'm going to keep the stream online until then, and we'll go do a raid. I'm sure I can talk for 8 minutes. How hard can that be?
That sounds good.
Cast are free to go when they're done. But that's what we're going to do, because, hey, we love games on this channel, and we love supporting other games. So, Shauna, friend, how is that for you today? Where can we find you and all of that good stuff? Muted, friend.
Yeah, there we go. It's been it's good to be back and doing this like occult detective stuff with Jamie. It's creepy, and Adeline is not equipped for all this spookiness necessarily. But now that everyone's out together, we'll see what happens if she succeeds. Who knows? But yeah, again, Flanksters, Twitter, where I have all the art and the games I'm playing throughout the week, including art like the character portraits on this overlay. And next time you'll see me, it will be Saturday, actually, for Black Flag, Rascallion campaign on Wandering DM, where I'm a terrible disaster of a sea witch who is probably going to sacrifice her crew to appease her demon lover. So it's going about as good as can be expected.
Yeah.
As you do.
Regular week.
I modeled it a little bit after Della, so that's how that's going. It's going like, yeah.
Both of those lovers really worked out for you.
God, it's a mess. They're both a mess.
What I'd like to do, if you are okay with it as players, is talk through how we set an agenda and what your goals are for next session. Obviously, between weeks, we can continue to elaborate and change things, but I think that would be kind of cool to share, kind of the post-game debrief a tiny bit. And Nuno, Astor will be becoming adult, so you will get all of the additional benefits, drawbacks, and experience points. So you'll need to update his sheet for that. So take a look at that.
Okay.
That should be pretty fun. The transition is quite a lot of experience points. You will gain 1 drawback, and you can choose any drawback, because adult is just that. So that'll be fun to check out for you. We won't do that right now, but that's something for you to think about for next time.
Sure.
As I'm bumping you up at age bracket, because birthdays are fun. Let's Jamie, Sam. What's Jamie? I know his goal is find Tarla, but what's a short-term actionable goal we can put on the agenda?
I want to identify these women. I have a sneaking in-character suspicion that they have somehow been identified as like Targaryan bastards or something, or there's weird quippy magic happening where they become Targaryen. I don't know. That's a long shot, but I'm honestly thinking that they're like, maybe there were these like hidden women, were Targaryen bastards, dyed their hair, that kind of stuff, and then they were discovered by the cult, and so they were offed. So I'm hoping that we can find someone who knows who they are, or we can at least get a lead on 3 missing women from the Holdfast. What would be good to know, actually, is if we were in Brack's land when we found this stuff and where that little hamlet is, or whether that's kind of an outlier and it's a bit kind of in the wilderness.
So contextually, I will say it's probably like an outlier. It doesn't really belong to any lord as such. There's probably lords who would make claim on it, but he told you Brax was the closest one.
Yeah. Cool, okay.
Yeah, he's not specifically, like, the holding isn't specifically Brax. It's just a little free hamlet of people who hunt and get on with life. And when people show up, taxes disappear into the woods.
I didn't ask her questions. What are you talking about tax? I didn't say anything about tax.
You the king? just checking for no reason. Cool. I think that's a really good agenda, and I like how Jamie's thinking. It's definitely in the ballpark of what's going on.
Good. At least I'm not just fucking.
Yeah. No, it's a very good theory. It's very close. We'll figure it out. I'm going to hop over to Shauna as the other part of our little buddy cop hunting squad.
Our True Detective Westeros that's happening over here.
Yeah. That's perfect summary.
So
Special small folks unit.
Yeah, oh.
Law and order.
I think hers is actually, it intersects with Jamie's, I think. Like, she has tangible evidence that, like, the stuff that the letters she's been getting from Della and involving Targaryens is stronger than initially she thought, so she wants to get to the bottom of it. Because it will also explain what's been happening with her as well.
Okay, what is one actionable thing you can think of that Adeline could do towards that?
I would say, get more information of other places that similar of these little hideouts have been. If there's anything like that, like try and find other places.
Alright, hunt out other hideouts?
Yeah, or maybe the next one that they've been using.
Perfect.
Anything strange like that.
Alright, that gives a really good focus. Cool. And Nuno.
I was muted. Yeah, of course I was. Point 1. Survive
Okay.
King's Landing.
Okay.
Point 2. Maybe make some friends. Point 3. Maybe make more than friends and find a wife.
Oh,
Step
Susie's
four.
gonna be so proud when she hears that part.
Yep.
Alright. I love that. Make friends and find a wife. I like it. I like that there is a political goal beyond, obviously, we've got to resolve the Gaunt thing.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure
That's
we
the
know how
survive part.
Yeah, we pretty much know how that's going to go, right? There's going to be a bit of paper. You've got to sign it in front of people. It's going to be
Yeah.
embarrassing and kind of suck, but that's all Wendell wants,
It is what
right?
it is. Yeah.
Yep. And as everyone says, laws lie. So what does it matter if you sign a bit of paper? Who cares? Cross your fingers as you sign it. It'll be fine. Never any consequences for lying. Cool. Yeah, I really like that. So we got our 3 goals, and I love the idea that Astor is now like, I need to make some friends. I have no one to call when trouble is on my doorstep, and that sucks.
Absolutely.
Nothing like a birthday of like being shaken down by the peasants.
Exactly.
Go and hang out with my
Just like-
accountant, whatever his name was.
Bellamy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bellamy.
Bellamy.
Yeah.
Bellamy will hook you up. He knows some ladies.
For a fee.
Well, everything comes with a price, Jamie. Come on.
Exactly.
Even top men come with a price. So,
Even top men.
the final thing I'd like to do, even though we did one at the beginning of the season, and it's only really been a week or so, I would like to do a house fortune roll.
Oh my
it's something that
god.
will fully resolve kind of off screen, but I'd like to do the roll on screen.
Alright,
so
alright.
this is status stewardship roll from the Lord of the House. Don't forget, you get a
Go on.
+2 to your head of house.
If it's bad,
And
it's
what's
just
our
how
house modifier?
The house modifier. Oh, I've got the wrong house open. I got House Dorsey open. That's not going to help me.
No.
I thought I was prepared then. No, I've got the wrong house open. We can look it up afterwards. I'll find the sheet. But if we get the
alright.
basic roll before our very witnesses.
Come on.
Okay, so my head of house thing says it's 1 bonus, not +2. Is that
Okay.
right? Okay.
We may have changed it at some point in my head because we simplified things. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, +1 bonus.
Okay.
Nice.
I think it's
That's
+4.
9.
worse.
We had a maester. We've got +1 from horse husbandry.
Had
Had a
Maester's
maester.
+3 though.
Had a maester, but
Had a maester.
yeah, no, it's just a 9 because again, 2 2s and 2 1s.
That's our Nuno.
Well,
So,
Yep.
11, right?
yes, that's 11 total. Do we have
+1
Uh,
for the horse husbandry. 12.
12?
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
I don't think that is good, right? That's pretty bad, in fact.
no.
I mean, it's
Oh
pretty
no.
low.
Alright, hold on. I'm going through the book right now.
There's no winning.
It's like we start shit with another house. Cool. No.
It's a boon!
Is that
Is
boon?
it?
Well,
Oh, thank
according to
God.
according to rulebook it is. I don't know if you're using the house rules or not.
No, I was going to use the core book.
Then it's a boon. 12.
That's a
Boon.
boon.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey.
There we go. Alright, cool. So we'll take a look at that and we'll apply it to the house and see how that goes. Currently you don't have the maester, so you will have some resources to play with. Potentially you could just hire another maester, be my suggestion, because it's pretty handy. But we can discuss that as a house for moving forward, as Astor is going to King's Landing and it's a great place to manage things. Right now I'm going to go see if Chromatic Chimera are online and rocking and rolling. So
They should be.
Over there. Chromatic. Yeah, looks like they are amping up. Alright, awesome. Thank you all so much for your extra time. I enjoy debriefs. This is kind of what we do anyway, and we discuss between the weeks our agendas and actionable goals, and then I post up the agenda and then we play the game. So that's it for us. Until next week, remember fam, you win or you die. Good night everyone.